Field of 68.
After Dark.
We are live, Field of 68 from Indianapolis for the Final Four today. For the next 3 hours, we're going to be right here at Tom's Watch Bar. We're going to have a ton of interviews down from Lucas Oil, all the teams and coaches that Jeff Goodman's going to have a chance to catch up with. I'm John Martin. Mike LaTulip, our host today and all week in Indianapolis. The great Terrence Oglesby.
Hometown host.
That's right. He told me I couldn't say hometown because he's not technically from here. Rob Dauster, and the great Randolph Childress. So Jeff Goodman is going to join us sporadically throughout the afternoon. Again, he's down there catching up. I believe we'll be able to talk and link up with Brad Underwood here in just a minute. But before we get started, any allergies that you guys know about? Just want to make sure that we don't have a medical event today.
No, we're good to go.
Okay, yeah, that was
Rob's the pro allergy doc.
Yeah,
because I think he called the nut allergy yesterday.
I said
right?
it yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You called
There's
it.
no way you know what you're talking about.
That's truly amazing.
I didn't say that.
Dr. Dauster knows what he's talking about, John.
I mean, even down to the allergies. We thought you were just an injury doctor, but you're also able to diagnose various allergies from remote locations.
I'm allergic to you right now.
It ain't just me. Somebody had a night last night, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't point to RCD, man. Don't pull him into this. We'll get to that obviously here in just a minute. Brad Underwood expected to join us, but Mike, I'll just kind of start with you. Obviously, as we're going through the week, and you can start to feel the build up. What are you excited about? Obviously, the games, but anything specifically this week?
I think we've talked about it a little bit, but just the converging of fan bases. I think Illinois is going to show out. I certainly think Michigan's going to show out, and I think UConn and Arizona are going to show out too. Like, I think we're going to have a solid presence. You obviously have the Midwest flavor.
Yep.
But I've already seen a number of UConn fans walking around, so that's what makes it such a cool environment, is just seeing all those fan bases here together.
Yeah, let's kind of go down the line here.
No, I think that semifinal game between Arizona and Michigan is what I'm looking forward to more than anything. I think those two have been the premier teams all season long. To see them go head to head, as far as they're like size, they do a lot of the same things. It's going to be a toughness game. I think we line it up for an all-time finish with those two.
First of all, that's incredibly disrespectful to the teams on the other side of the bracket. T.O. just said it's a national championship game in the semifinals.
That's not what I said.
Can we clip that, please? Can we clip that, Dagan, and send that to Brad Underwood and send that to Dan Hurley and get them ready for this for this Final Four? T.O., no respect for the UConn or Illinois programs.
I like them. I'm just more excited about that one.
No, look, I'm
not sure what you want from me.
At the start, what I want is to rewind life 24 hours and make better decisions.
Yeah. Well, you got your coffee. You're ready. You're back on the right track.
Coffee, water, Tylenol. Doesn't get better than that, right? But I'm looking forward to the environment that we're going to have in the city. Mike, you kind of touched on this, but at the start of the year, at the start of the tournament, I said, the best possible Final Four when it comes to an environment, when it comes to what happened in the city of Indianapolis, would be Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, and one of Duke or UConn. And we got that, Randolph. We got that.
We did. You guys touched on everything from the fan base, the excitement about it. I mean, the finishes. I'm just looking forward to seeing how everything shakes out. Like, do we get an answer in the landscape of job searches?
Yeah.
Right? What happens with Carolina? We just got the news with Bill Self. How everything shakes out. There's going to be some more announcements, I think, of jobs and coaches moving and a lot of moving and shaking. So I think that's the most exciting part. When you get here, so many people are coming here. Everyone involved in college basketball is coming here for a day or two for the entire time, and to see where everybody lands and how everything shakes out as well.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of heat emanating from Rob. Like somebody on this panel is going to have to pick UConn. It's part of your contractual obligations with the network.
No, don't.
Oh, you
I
don't?
think RC did yesterday.
Okay.
Stay on that
Right?
side. You picked Illinois. Stay on that side.
I'm picking Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay on that
Hey,
side.
same.
Yeah.
Me and RC got to.
I've seen your face at the implication, the insinuation that the first game of tomorrow doesn't matter.
No, I'm with T.O. in the sense of, like, Arizona and Michigan, as we've talked about it, their top gear is better than anybody's top gear in America. So there's natural intrigue to that matchup. But I think we've seen in this tournament that when all eyes are focused on one matchup, it's all of a sudden that ends up being a 9-point win for either team. And then the UConn-Illinois game ends up being the one that becomes the instant classic because of a finish. It may be a rock fight, but the finish ends up making it an instant classic. But I do think in terms of firepower and fireworks, I mean, Arizona and Michigan would be the one that you would look at from an aesthetic standpoint.
No, there's no question.
Yeah.
My thing too is whenever we watch that UConn-Illinois game, to me, like, what do you do with Alex Caravan for UConn? What do you do to get Wagler in space against UConn? There's just a lot of, X's and O's things that I'm looking forward to evaluating in that game. But I do think the top gear of Michigan, top gear of Arizona, just because they're so big across the board, they're so physical, I think that's going to be the most exciting piece of the whole thing. And we'll dive deeper into that game, of course, as we continue to go on. But just going to be two fantastic matchups. I think Illinois could match up better with either Michigan or Arizona, to be honest with you, top to bottom. But that all being said, Dan Hurley team's a Dan Hurley team. Right, Rob?
Yes, sir. That is correct. No,
Rob's got that glossed over look.
I do believe that the Michigan area, like, that's the game we were waiting for the whole year.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, even in December and January, we're sitting here saying, well, I would love to see Michigan match up with Arizona. Like, would you if I gave you Michigan and Arizona versus the field, who are you taking for a national championship, right? We had those conversations right here on Field of 68 After Dark. So the thing I'm looking forward to most in that matchup personally is Karchenkov against Lindenberg, and how you have one guy that has been arguably the best player in the NCAA tournament so far in Lindenberg, and Karchenkov is like the one guy that's built to be able to guard him.
Insanity.
That matchup reminds me of a chart that you would sit and you'd list everybody on it, and you'd go like Michigan, Arizona, or even. And I'd go, all right, front line. If you went position-wise, would you go front line? Like, where do you go? A lot of it is even. Or do you lean one way or the other, right? Guards. That's where it's different. So it's just a lot of information about which way you go. I'm just curious about that matchup.
Jeff Goodman is live with Illinois coach Brad Underwood. Let's go to Jeff and Coach Underwood.
All right, Brad, you got a smile on your face. I mean, it took you a long time to get here. Are you able to enjoy this now? Because a lot of first-time head coaches that get here tell me it's hard to enjoy. But at this point, you think you're able to enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a blast. Really cool driving in on the bus, seeing Lucas Oil in the Final Four and knowing you're going. Walking in today and practicing. And, you dream of these things. And, I think the one thing that I'm going to make sure I have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to be loose. I'm going to have fun.
You bring your squirt guns in case, for when you win?
They're packed.
You got like the big one?
Yeah, they're packed.
Ready to go. All right, so obviously you got your hands full. I mean, a team that's all about culture. They've won a couple titles in the last few years. They're coming off a historic shot to be able to go to the Final Four. When you're watching them now as opposed to when you played them earlier this season, what's the biggest difference?
Yeah, Terrace. Terrace was I think he had 2 and was coming off an injury. In the first game, he's averaging 22 and 14 in the NCAA tournament. Mullins was coming off an injury. So I think they're different. I think their emphasis are different. I think they've got one of the best players in the country in Caravan, who's one of the elite problem solvers in my opinion. And yet I think we're very different. So, it's a team that, obviously is not going to quit down 19. They're here because of that never quit attitude. That comes from their head coach. And you're going to have to get in the street and fight. And I expect that kind of street fight.
I think it's Terrace, not like a Ford Taurus.
Yeah,
I think there's a difference there, but it's okay.
I should know we recruited him and we didn't get him. So, but no, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has.
You get 27 rebounds in a game.
Pretty good.
That's not too shabby.
You have a great front line too. I mean, you got length, you got a bunch of big bodies you can throw at him. Beyond Terrace, like you said, I mean, they've got shooters that haven't necessarily made shots a lot this season. Braylon Mullins has struggled a little bit. Obviously, solo ball hasn't made him like Dan Hurley thought they'd make him. But how important is it to make sure that you get him off that three-point line?
Well, they made him against us the first game. They were electric that night. And, I hope we're better defensively because we do know that they're capable of making shots at a high level. And you start pairing that with what they do on the interior. You pair that with their rebounding. then you've really got your hands full. So we're very aware of their perimeter shooting. We're very aware of what this team is capable of, and we're going to have to try to defend it the best we can.
Give me the best piece of advice you've gotten so far from another head coach, whether it's you've called Hugs or somebody like that. Frank obviously was in the Final Four.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's been really consistent is what we started this conversation about. Have fun. You gotta enjoy it, and making sure that everything that we do, and you talk to other coaches, making sure it fits your team. Because it was good for somebody else doesn't mean it's great for you.
You've got a loose team, don't you?
Oh yeah, we're definitely that.
You've come a long way, have you not? Like, I feel like if you would come here 20 years ago, now you would have a lot more hair, and you're moving a lot quicker. But you've changed a lot. I mean, you've adapted as much as almost any coach at your age that I've seen, and I'm not sure I saw this coming.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I've always tried to do is fit my team. If I look back at my Dodge City Community College teams, I had fun with them, but it was a different time. It was a different way, and I think that the relationships that you have with your players, you have to fall in line with. They have to see and understand what you're about, that you love them, that you're there to push them and make them better. But I've always felt that winning should be rewarded and celebrated, and so we've always had fun with that, and we're going to continue to do that, and I don't want it to be just a drag and we got the next game. Let's celebrate what we just did.
Yeah, and when they're on the court, play hard.
Yep.
But when you're off the court, have fun, right? Enjoy, especially for your international guys.
Oh,
they're probably wide-eyed right now of like kind of this whole thing, taking it in. That experiment, we all questioned it before the year. I think even you questioned whether it was going to work.
But you did.
I did. Well, you don't know a lot of these guys too, right? Until you see them. I think you've proven that this thing can work at the highest level.
Yeah, their skill set, it's worked from the standpoint of what we tried to do, positional size and shooting, a skill set, and then the personality pieces worked great, mostly because of Tommy. Tommy knew him. Tommy had relationships. So there was a connectivity. The excitement that they've come over here with has been fresh and fun. And so I think that you pair that with style of play. You pair that with, having some other guys that are veterans that know. It's been a great marriage. And I love their tenacity. I love their competitiveness. This group is a rip your throat out competitive group. And it stems from all of those guys from the Balkans.
All right, last one, kind of a funny one. Who's the better looking Ivicic brother? I asked them, and I asked Merck. Merck said one of them was elegant, what a term. Who do you think he called elegant, first of all?
I would say he probably called Z elegant.
No, yes.
Wow.
I don't know if he knows what elegant means.
He probably doesn't, but I shouldn't say that. Merck's very smart, but they're very different in their styles and their attitudes. I would say most people probably like Tommy, but it's
See with the glasses though.
Z can go the cerebral academic look and pull that off very well. But they're both into fast cars and F1 and they're very worldly, so they're probably doing okay.
Well, listen, great to see you here.
Thank you.
As a coach, not a bystander.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, guys. Brad Underwood. It is very cool, guys, to see Brad Underwood after all these years, right? And have to kind of recreate this program even and adapt with the times. And at his age, you just don't see a lot of guys do that. Most guys are fighting it. Brad has never fought this, this new day and age of the portal, obviously NIL. He's kind of embraced it. I always joke it's because he looks at his direct deposit every 2 weeks or every month. But I really do feel like he's embraced this thing and, try to go with it more than fighting it like some of these other older coaches.
Hey, Goodman, can you do me a favor? Can you ask Trevor how his shoulders are feeling right now?
Yeah, Trev's feeling good. He was lifting some weights. You saw him out in our last trip in Iowa. So he's been lifting. He's strong enough. He's still got another couple minutes ready, I think. So we're good. But no, it's cool here, guys. It's cool. I mean, again,
Can I just say something?
Hopefully, Yeah.
You do a lot of things well, right? But breaking the ice is really not one of them. Like, I mean, do you realize how dastardly and diabolical you started? I mean, hey, man, never thought you'd be here. I mean, that's insane. You just roast them the whole time.
I think I have the relationship with these guys that I can do that. I can hopefully ask them the tougher questions, and they don't get – I mean, they probably get offended. They probably, F me when they're done. But I've known these guys a long time.
They expect it from you at this point, Goodman. They expect it from you.
Well, you got to keep them on their toes, too. I mean, they've done this enough. They do it over and over and over, and I think it is boring, some of these interviews for the kids, for the coaches. Obviously, I don't know the kids like I know the coaches, but we'll have a good one here later with Dan Hurley, obviously. We know that. And, I think the other side, it'll be interesting, Dusty May and Tommy Lloyd. We've got 4 big-time head coaches. And, Brad's the elder statesman of the group. But also, again, he's doing this for the first time as a head coach. And I love the fact that he is able to kind of let loose. There's Tommy Lloyd yelling at me now as he goes by in his golf cart. I don't know what he said, but
your time's up. Your time's up. Okay.
All right, get back to
Thanks.
it.
God
we'll
bless.
see you, I think, in a little while with another coach.
That's our intrepid reporter, Jeff Goodman, boots on the ground, asking the most important pressing questions of the day, like, which Ivicic brother is more handsome? Thank you, Jeff. All right.
Hey, to speak to what he's been able to do, Underwood, that is, not Jeff. His adaptability.
Complimenting Goodman here, we're not allowed to do that.
His adaptability.
It's in your contract. You can't say nice things about Jeff.
Gotcha. His adaptability, right? The different types of offenses he's run since he's been at Illinois. You look a couple years ago, they were like, well, we really like what Coleman Hawkins does. Maybe we can switch it up just a little bit and tinker with it. You got some guys that are a little bit, I'm not going to say guys could pass a little bit more on the perimeter, do some more things with the ball in their hands. You talk about positional size. You go to the Balkans, you can find a lot of guys that are bigger, that are skilled, that have been coached the right way. And their basketball adjustment doesn't seem to have been all that big outside of Petrovic.
Yeah. And if you look at what Brad did before he got to Illinois, right? Like, look at the teams that he had, Stephen F. Austin. And like they're pressing, they're trying to force turnovers, they're way up in passing lanes. Like I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, this team is last in defensive turnover rate.
Dead last.
Yeah. Like it's the complete opposite of what they were when he brought like that Stephen F. Austin team to the NCAA tournament. Like they were good.
Well, they protect the paint better because you're not extended out into those passes.
They have 17 Serbians that are 7'3". Like, yes, you're going to protect the paint.
They fouled at a high level. They used to foul at a really high level. Now they're number 1 in the country in terms of their lack of fouling. And I think you guys both made good points. I think that the evolution of not only just their system going from their spread offense to we're going 4 out, 1 in and high ball screens with Io and Kofi, and then we're doing 5 out stuff with Coleman Hawkins, and then we're doing the matchup hunting with Marcus Damask. But I think, how do you become the most efficient offense in America? And this is where I think Illinois has really thrived, is the development of these guys that have come in to remove the inefficiencies from their game. For example, Kylan Boswell, eliminate the tough twos that he shot at Arizona. So everything is threes or it's at the rim. So now you got a guy who in his first 2 seasons at Arizona shot 58 total free throws. He's shot 257 in his 2 years at Illinois. Like just being more efficient in that regard. And then you get a guy like Andrei Stojakovic, who at 6'7", okay, this is his lowest 3-point attempt season for him because it's not an efficient part of his game right now. So now you see a 10% increase in his field goal percentage. So, like, being able to eliminate all those from these players and getting the buy-in from those players, developing those players. Terrence Shannon was the same thing.
Yep.
Terrence Shannon, when he came from Texas Tech, was like, you could see him as like a second-round guy. And if not for, some of the stuff that went on at the end of that season, like, he would have been probably a top 20 pick instead of the 27th pick. So they've done such a good job of developing. And I think the last point I'll make with Brad specifically is he understands, and I think he's got a unique superpower in the sense where he knows people. And I think to be a great coach, you need to understand how to coach each individual, especially when you have individuals from different backgrounds, from different places. And so it's like what Steve Kerr used to talk about with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. I can't get on Draymond the same way. I can't get on Clay the same way I get on Draymond. I can get in Draymond's face, and Draymond's fine. Clay goes more internal. And so I think he's picked up on that from each guy, too, and it's made for just a really cohesive unit and a cohesive staff.
No, my thing would be for Brad. Just happy for the journey to see him. And I think the game has evolved faster than systems and coaches, and some are stubborn to adapt, and no one has done a better job of that. He's been as good at that as anyone in college basketball, from having bigs like Kofi being like, all right, we're not as good defensively as we think we need to be. I need to transition things. Like you said before, Rob, about his pass. I mean, their length, the way they coach this team, and it's made them defensively really good. It's just, hey, stay between your man and the ball. And again, it'll be interesting playing that matchup and against UConn, because I think you're going to have to extend a little bit because the potential of them making shots. So, I think they'll do a good job of protecting the paint. Puts a tremendous amount of responsibility on Reed. We'll see what they do. Does he draw any extra help? I think he does a great job of creating angles. So I'd love to see the chess match amongst the coaches, that what they're going to do with their personnel, because you get in matchups like this, there's just so much talent on the other side. You don't know how they're going to respond to that. This is the team, the way Illinois plays, it's almost like Styles. You don't want to play against a team like UConn that runs all these actions and then shoot the ball as deep as they do, in the volume that they do when you're trying to play. Your main job is keeping the ball in front. So, and then on the other side, it's the same thing. I don't think either team has played against that type of length and that skill set of all. So, great coaching.
I don't think UConn can have the shooting night like they had against
They can't
Duke.
struggle, but I don't think
they can't have that against Illinois.
But I don't think they play Duke on the perimeter is probably the best perimeter defensive team with their length in college basketball. So it was as much to do with what Duke was doing, and Illinois is not that on the perimeter. They don't defend that way. So they'll get better shots, and if they make them, we'll see. But they don't apply the pressure that Duke does on the perimeter. So I don't think that game will be that way. They could miss shots. How many guys are making shots for them? They haven't been able to, for UConn, put all of that together. But I think I think it's Alex Caravan will have the. I think
he'll have
a lot of his pressure. He has a lot to do with where this game goes with that matchup.
I think the Terrace Reed element of this scares me, because Duke and Michigan State both have good interior defenses, and he just smoked them. So Illinois has that as well, and I just think, to RC's point, the ball pressure, like, that's another form of post defense. Like, you can't allow bullet passes into the paint. You need airtime on those passes if they're going to go into Reed, because there's so much off-ball action. You get so spread out. You're outside of your help zones. So now when it goes in, it's like, we're not there to dig. We're not there to help. And you're leaving the Twins on an island. So that, I don't know how that couldn't concern you if you're an Illinois fan, given the fact that he's come such a long way since that first matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the major keys, to not let Terrace Reed put his imprint on the game, because he's done it in all 4 games they've had in the tournament.
Rob, I really hesitate to ask anything to you, because the way you're just presenting yourself this morning, I think leaves a lot to be desired. If we're gonna
leave my guys. We celebrated a birthday yesterday.
It was his birthday, man. We
celebrating the Final Four. We celebrated birthday. He's got coffee, he's got water, and he's got Advil, baby. We're ready to go.
Going after the founders of Field to 68. Like, that's what he deserves to be going after.
Go straight to the top.
That's right.
The idea that this man has the audacity to call anybody out.
He was not alone.
After we watched how he smoked a cigar last night, like, look, all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that was pretty.
All I'm going to say is
what happened.
That was
I would love to know. How did I smoke the cigar?
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. I mean, it was a great cigar. What was the place called? What was the spot?
What was it, Blair?
Riyadh's?
Nigel and
It was like 2 doors down.
Yeah.
How did I smoke the cigar, Rob?
Nikki Blaine's.
Nikki Blaine's.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going to come to you, because I feel like you deserve to answer this. Any motivation for Dan Hurley when he hears Brad Underwood mispronounce Terrace Reed's name? Taurus. I mean, that might be a thing.
Yeah, probably. Like, they'll find anything to turn into.
I mean, that's a pretty brutal mispronunciation.
Yeah, well, they'll also find the clip of T.O. saying that he doesn't think that UConn's got a chance to be able to beat Illinois, and they'll find a clip of R.C. saying that the
You're welcome, Dan.
Arizona game is is the national championship game. I mean, you guys can answer this because you've been in those locker rooms. If you need extra motivation
At this point,
for the Final Four, like what are we doing? Like, oh yeah, a guy mispronounced your name. You know how often my name gets mispronounced?
Deuster.
Yeah,
Dauster.
You know how many times I hear
Dauster.
Dauster? Like it is what it is, man. So
oh, I thought that's what it was. What is it?
Well, also, I'll say this: you mentioned just these two matchups, Rob, and this is something that I think is a little bit unique. I mean, last year we had previous matchups from the Final Four too. I mean, Auburn and Florida, obviously, and then you had Duke and Auburn as well that had played. You got three of them in this Final Four. You got Illinois, who's played Michigan, Illinois, who's played UConn, and Arizona, who's played UConn. And it feels like in each of those matchups, besides maybe Illinois, Michigan, it's like you kind of throw them out because even Arizona, UConn, Reed and Mullins were out, right? So it's like it's weird that we've had these matchups prior, but 2 out of the 3 are almost complete throwaways.
That kind of feels like what college basketball is right now, right? Like how many teams in November are the same as what they are in February? If you're the same team in February as you are in November, you're probably not very good.
Arizona's pretty close to. I think they've maintained even more than Michigan. Obviously, had the out of the gates. I mean, they both have hit another gear, and they've gotten better in the last 3-4 weeks.
Here's my question: how are we supposed to be able to maintain focus when we got Lady Gaga over here with
what is that, like 2014 Lady Gaga? Is that what you're so entranced? I mean,
I think
this is what I'm talking about.
I think it's before that.
That's what I'm talking about. I hope your Huskies came more focused than you did to Indianapolis.
I would assure you that they have.
I can't, man. I can't.
It's like shooting free throws with like someone doing some crazy stuff in the crowd behind.
Honestly, if you want to make people miss free throws, just have that playing in the background instead of like the wavy guys or whatever. Because like,
I don't even know which.
What am I looking at? What song is this?
I think it's Lady Gaga.
Convulsing.
Yeah, I don't know what song it would be.
All right, we got to go to break.
All right, we have a lot more to come from Tom's Watch Bar here.
Please get us to break, John Martin.
Rob Dauster.
Lock in, John Martin.
More with Jeff Goodman. Stick around, Field 68.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing. Or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals. And squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers. And these kinds of cheers. People are good. For you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of The Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome back to a special live Field of 68 broadcast. Tom's Watch Bar, downtown Indianapolis. John Martin, Mike LaTulip, Terrence Oglesby, Rob Dauster, Randolph Childers here with you. Hoping to catch up via Jeff Goodman with Dan Hurley in just a bit. But Goodman's working. He's working very hard for us down there. He says the balls are properly inflated. I don't know.
There's no way he knows that.
He's also bouncing it off.
Why do you trust Goodman about inflated balls?
He's a lifelong college basketball veteran reporter.
He doesn't know that one.
Have you ever seen him shoot a jump shot?
I've seen him slide. I haven't seen him shoot a jumper. Is it really hideous?
Have you ever seen John Martin need a booster seat?
Oh, no.
God.
I'm stepping in the crossfire.
It's always very humbling to be around a bunch of former college basketball players and Rob. And apparently I need a booster seat because I
don't know what the big. I don't know
it's
why.
A blanket.
I don't know why.
On a blanket.
I don't know why this
right?
bothers you. We sit in booster seats all the time when we're calling
I'm back
games.
home, I don't have to
Phil
deal
Jackson
with this kind of
had
shit.
one.
I don't have
Yeah,
to.
Phil Jackson had a booster seat. LeBron can wear a booster seat.
Yeah,
you
my
can't.
kids
I
sit
think Mara.
booster seats when
Mara
they're in the
has
car.
Mara 7'3" sits with one on the back.
Who provided the blanket? Thank you for providing the blanket.
There it is.
There should be Thanksgiving out.
It was Big D.
Thank you.
Big D brought it over. Shout out to Big D.
It was a service. I showered today. It's all good. So I hope that for the viewing audience, this is a little more aesthetically pleasing. So, all right, Dan Hurley's going to join us here in just a minute. We've been talking about this UConn matchup, Mike, and just to kind of go back to it, the Terrace Reed, he has been so good, so dominant these last two games, and they've needed him. And that's always the thing. If Terrace Reed picks up 3, but he's done a really good job of staying out of that.
He has, and just the development of him just throughout his career. I mean, at Michigan, they kind of had him tandem bigs with Hunter Dickinson, and then you see last year, obviously some of the foul trouble issues, and then this year, and Rob can speak to it even better, but just the evolution of his processing ability now that he's commanding more attention, making those passes out of the post, making some great reads, timely ones against Duke to help push them over the top, and he's just so damn nimble. And that's like there's no plotting with him whatsoever. And I think he's grown as a defender as well. Rob, I don't know if you have anything to add there on Terrace Reed as we
want to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah,
everything's okay.
I think to Mike's point, a lot of what Terrace Reed does is like the direct passes. You talked about their Illinois. They have to get out. They have to pressure the passer in order to eliminate some of those things because there is so much movement. Hurley's done a nice job of putting him in position to have success, getting him to where he can catch and make immediate moves to the rim. This is a guy, though, I mean, he started off the tournament, what was it, 34 and 27? I mean, some of the stat lines that he's had since this whole thing has started has just been out of this world good. But a lot of it comes down to scheme and where can I put him into position, and Dan Hurley's been masterful in that.
Yeah, and he's where Terrace has really taken a big step this year throughout the season has been the ability one-on-one in the post, like the footwork, the leap that he's made in the last 3 months, just being able to get back to that left hand, right? Because it used to kind of be, I'm going to go bully ball. I'm going to put my shoulder into your chest, and I'm trying to get to my right hand. I'm trying to get over that left shoulder, and that's how I'm going to score. And now he gets there, and if you cut it off, he spins back to his right, and it's like the 1-2 step to his left hand. And he didn't have that 3 months ago, RC, and seeing him develop into this, the most interesting part about it to me is that when we think about a Dan Hurley team and a UConn offense, what you think about is a team that is running all of these sets to try to get guys into coming off of a screen into an open jump shot, right? Running into an open 3, curling off a screen and getting into the basket. And that's not what this team is right now. They are built around getting the ball to the big fellow in the post, and they've been that way for the last month. And seeing them figure out how to be able to make that work and win that way has been really impressive to see.
I think all the compliments you guys gave him, I guess my question to you all has been, who's been better in the tournament? Like, name me a player that's been better than he has been in the tournament. I think that's the difference in how far his leap has come. And it's not just the offensive end. I mean, let's be clear. They're here because of what he did on the defensive end of the floor, guarding the National Player of the Year, saying, I got him one-on-one. And when the critical game moments mattered in that Duke game, that's what he did. So of all the things deservingly so that he did on the offensive end of the floor, I thought coming over, blocking shots, coming over, altering shots at the rim, I thought he not only took over the game all game long, but he's done so well on the defensive end of the floor. That's been
the
most
verticality at the rim has been really impressive to see. Like that. There was a little bit of a foul issue at the start of the year with him. Like he was undisciplined. It was like the little reaches. It was like, you're never going to get that steal. Why are you reaching for it? Now you got your second foul with 9 minutes left in the first half, and you got to go to the bench. And that has not happened much recently. He's been very smart about when he's going to contest and really good at like just getting it. Half the battle when you're a big guy, and you guys know this, is just
I wouldn't know that.
But just be big and in the way, right? Be big and in the way and go straight up. But if you're big in the way and you're going straight up, you're going to be a very good defensive big man.
To your point, too, like one of the best ways to eliminate fouls is to be in position early. Like I think we talked about like his processing ability offensively, how that's grown. I think what's also grown is his understanding of angles to be in the right position to not put himself in danger of foul trouble. Like it's still crept up on him from time to time. But that just comes through time, through college basketball, like understanding your limits, really, and keeping yourself out of harm's way.
One of the things on Tuesday's show that got brought up, and again, we got 2 games before we get there, but it was basically like, what's your boldest take about the Final Four? And Justin Jackson, who's not here this week but was on Tuesday's show, said that if Dan Hurley is able, to win another championship, which would be 3 and 4, he would go on his Mount Rushmore of college basketball. Is that bold?
It's bold, but we're not far away if that were to be the case. I mean, 3 out of 4 is insane. In the tournament itself, I think, the last 2 teams he had, he took away the element of luck. They were so dominant throughout the entire tournament. This year they needed a little bit. And in my opinion, guys, whenever you play in these 6-game tournaments or however long, there needs to be a shred of luck to happen. He got that in the last contest, and to be honest, it's the first time he's needed it in the last few. So we'll see how it carries through. If they were to win against Illinois and then take down either Michigan or Arizona, I don't know how you could argue that point. I mean, he has been that outstanding.
Now, Rob, I know you've chiseled 4 faces, and they're all of Dan. Would you add another of Dan if he wins the championship this year?
5 Dans?
Yeah, 5 Dans on Mount Rushmore. I think, one, that would be terrifying. I don't think anybody needs to see that many faces of Dan Hurley.
They'd be all different facial.
Yeah, I was going to say different mannerisms.
they'd be all
different mannerisms.
The best one, I think the 5th face would be after the review against Michigan State when it was very clearly off Michigan State. Did you guys see that? When he called for the review and he goes,
yes. That'll be one of them.
yes, that'd have to be one.
The other one would be the forehead nuzzle with Roger Ayers.
Yes.
100%.
And you'd have to have one.
And
where
then something from Maui last year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when he gets really mad, it's the same face that my son makes when he gets really upset, and it's just like a
Yeah.
Yep.
and the lip sticks out. That would have to be up there as well.
RC, any thought there to if you, and again,
3 out of 4.
It's a lot easier said than done given the path. They're underdogs against Illinois. They're going to be underdogs against either Michigan or Arizona. But if he's able to do that, where does that sort of put him on your personal list?
I mean, he's climbing the list. I mean, let's be clear.
I was saying who's on your list, because that's.
I mean, K. That list
Like Wooden
over to change. Yeah, guys have
K.
changed. I think Dean's on the list. And
You got to have Patino on there too.
There's only 4 faces on Rushmore.
he's
now.
approaching it fast for his short period of time. I mean, this would be special to do it. It's different because he was the best team the previous 2 championships. He's not the best team. He's probably, of the 4 teams that's here, he's probably, you make the argument, at the highest 3rd and more than likely 4th. So if he wins the 3 and 4, and more importantly in this climate,
in this era for
with 3 different teams, like that's the difference of coaches in the past. There's no 4-year guys. There's no guys aren't staying and having all these championships. There's no Hurley, Grant Hill, Duke teams.
Yeah.
This is 3 different teams that would win 3 national championships.
I think you could easily
that
make
would be
the
pretty
case
special.
because of that these are harder to get. Right? Because there was just an expectation back 80s, 90s, 2000s where guys didn't leave those programs. And now we know, like, guys get in the portal all the time. So, and he's developed some continuity here with Solo Ball. Has been there, right? I mean, you go down the list. Caravan's been there. I mean, he's fostered that, which I think is a big reason why they're finding the success that they are.
I see both sides of it. I mean, I see like the one side of it it's harder to do in this era, and then obviously there's a piece of it in this era where you can reload quicker.
Yep.
You can't. You have the means, right? But it really is. You look at that first. You look at that first championship to now, and Caravan. It's not like Caravan is still playing the Caravan role. Like it's not like he has ascended into the go-to guy at 20 a game.
But at one point they tried that.
Right.
And that's the year they didn't win the national.
They tried that, and that didn't work, and he's back, and you did it differently. I just think it's harder. I don't think it's even close to what anyone else done before. You're talking about 3 and 4 with basically 3 different teams in this era not getting the best player in the country. Like when did they had meaning like freshmen coming in.
Right.
Like when have they had the best guys? So
right.
I just think it's different. It's harder.
Speaking of which, let's go to Jeff Goodman, who's live with UConn coach Dan Hurley now.
All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. So be safe. Okay. All right. Try to temper it a little bit.
What are you listening to?
The show. Dauster and John Martin and those guys, they're throwing it to us. And so let's not waste time. We got to ask some important questions here. No, but I have a message from Andrea Hurley. I have a message. She says to you, stop wearing sunglasses when it's cloudy. You look like a jerk off.
Well, that sounds like her, especially the last word. But it's my thing. I was wearing the sunglasses before even Dion.
Oh,
If you go
were.
back to
but nobody knew who you were back
I
then.
had any idea because we just kept losing in the first round.
Right. Now you're relevant.
Now I'm
So it matters. It matters. Speaking of relevant, you're here.
Yeah.
Third time in 4 years at halftime of the last game.
Yeah.
Did you think in any way, shape, or form you would be here?
I would say with 3 minutes to go in the half, if you would have did a lie detector, no. But at halftime, just the way that half ended, getting it to 15, felt like it was still a manageable game. So halftime, yes. 3 minutes ago, first half, maybe not.
What have you learned about this team, even through that last game and their resiliency? And even like a kid like Braylon Mullins, who hasn't had the year that, and he's had some issues physically and mentally, even with a concussion.
I mean, you could do all the efficiencies that you want on teams the whole year. But in the end, when you get to this tournament, where you're basically playing game sevens, you just can't discount fortitude, resilience, the will of a program, the will of a team, and we've had to be resilient the whole year. We've dealt with injuries. We've played a lot of close games. We've had to dig down deep a bunch, and I think that's a trait that could put you in position to win a championship.
What scares you most about this Illinois team?
Well, we shared the court with them already, so we know about the size and the offense. It's
huge.
They're huge, and just the way they offensive rebound the ball, the way they take care of the ball, the way they put pressure on you individually, defensively. They're a scary team to guard, and their depth. I mean, they've got 8 guys that in their rotation that are all tremendous players.
All right, last one. What's the outfit? I mean, come on, give me the, we know your kind of mental tactics here that go into Saturday's game. Yeah. Have you thought about it? What do we got? Yeah. Socks, everything.
Today threw me off because I start getting into, we're here like a day earlier than we were the first 2 rounds of the tournament. Yeah. So we're here. So I'm wearing something that I would just casually wear, but tomorrow I go into the rotation of things.
Does Andrea help you with this?
Well, she does, because I just take all the clothes that I just wore from the last weekend, and we just literally dump it right into the washer dryer, and then she just lays it out, and then she helps me pack it too, which gives
You're
me
not capable.
I can only do one thing. And sometimes
I'm not sure that's good enough. I'm not sure that's always good enough.
Not for her, not for that woman.
Listen, great to see you again. Third time in 4 years. Remember the streak.
Oh no, we keep doing this.
Right?
Are you kidding me? This
streak continues.
The streak continues.
That's right. There it is. Thanks, guys. Back.
Yep. All right. How would we rate that handshake there at the end? It looked a little clumsy to me.
Give that a 4 out of 10.
That was rough.
Goodman's not great when it comes to the handshakes. It's there's a little wet noodle going on there.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Okay.
Wet noodle.
Rob, how would you rate? You know better than anybody. Lock-in factor right now for Coach Dan Hurley based on that interview.
He's laughing. He's smiling. He's cracking jokes. He's talking about how he packed his clothes. That means that he's. What's above 100%? 110%? 120%? Like, how locked in? How high can we go on the locked in factor here, on the locked in scale?
Yeah. And in terms of, we talked a little.
I bet he locks in tomorrow. He doesn't seem all the way locked in.
No, I mean, he's, he got time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he said he's going to get into his rotation of things on Friday.
That means his underwear rotation.
Yeah. The last time they were here, do you remember that they had like a 6-hour flight delay flying to Phoenix?
Yeah.
On the like, no one knew where they were. We had to get the UConn AD to come over on the show to explain, like, yeah, they're gonna make it. It's gonna be okay. We don't need to freak out. And he was the one that was freaking out.
That team had no problem. That team probably could have flown there 3 hours before the game, and
they could have flown right to the arena. Right to the arena.
Yeah, it was. I always wonder, like, how much travel really matters. You know what I mean? Like, it seems to matter for Big Ten schools when they go east or west, but I don't know. I always kind of think that might get overblown a little bit.
But he has the experience of being here.
Right.
Whereas that's where, part of when we were talking about Mike, when I was saying I thought they had an advantage of experience, and also he's been here. Where we talked about this with Norm. When he first got here, he's like, hey, man, you get here, you're a little bit uptight because you're like, hey, we got to be so strict, block out all this noise. You may do too much at times. That's not the case. He knows exactly what it takes here. He's been successful here doing it. And that's where I think and you haven't been here. You've been in your first Final Four. It is a lot. The media is more. Everything is enhanced. Everything is more. and you're talking to more people. And when you're dealing with kids, you don't know how they're going to respond to that. So having been there and done that, there definitely is an advantage that he has. That doesn't mean that they're going to win, but he has an advantage about getting his guys ready. He's proven he's figured that out.
Well, and I think that's actually a good point. Knowing what to expect when you get here. I remember, I've told this story before, but when Justin Jackson was there at the 2017 Final Four in Houston, I believe it was 27, might have been 2016. But I remember going and interviewing him and walking up to him and being like, because he's from Houston, being like, what's it been like being in your hometown? Yeah, 16. And he looks at me and he goes, I've spent more time with y'all than I've spent with my family. And that's it. And he just left me on that. And you have to know what you're getting into when it comes to that. Like, be prepared for the fact that you're going to go have 3 hours of media stuff, and you got to go take these pictures, and you got to go stand in that room where they're going to do all the stuff to get you ready for the starting lineups. And you have to do all of these things that go so far beyond just like practicing and getting ready for a game, the biggest game of your life. And I think that having that experience and knowing what is coming and being able to prepare your guys for it and say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get through it. This is when we're going to practice. This is when we're going to work. I think that actually really does matter.
The coaches need to be cognizant of how much of a load that is on some of these players mentally. Because I remember when I was playing a tournament 2 years, my freshman year, obviously I wasn't the guy that was having to answer all these questions. My sophomore year I was, and it was like every single time that it would just added more and more and more, and there was never any downtime because there's so much publicity and there's so many things happening, and you got to answer questions, and then you got to go to open practice, and then you have your other practice, and it, like, there is a serious threat whenever you're at these things that you can over prepare big time. And that happened to us. We were overworked by the time that the games actually started, to where we would explode onto the scene in the first half. In the second half, we just completely fell off a cliff because the cumulative effect of this week, or even the NCAA tournament, I mean, I'm talking about a first-round game here. I'm not talking about the Final Four. There's just a lot that goes on that could be a mental stressor heading into this game. You got to keep the main thing. And I think some coaches, they can get a little tight, but once you figure out the cadence of the weekend and how you do all these things, I think that's a major advantage for Hurley and his staff.
You mentioned Hurley and the staff. I think that's so important. And you also said keeping the main thing. Like, there's so many distractions down here to convince you that the actual game that you're playing is secondary to all this other stuff going on. And so you talk about the staff. Like, I think about like the ops guys, like all the guys that have to organize when meals are, when we get together for film, when we do, like, what is too much, what's not enough. Like, that's just as much as I think people will look at Dan Hurley and be like, with 2 minutes left in the game, he's been here. There's like that experience, and there's also the experience making sure your guys are fresh, ready to go, free of mind when they take the floor. So there's so much of that down here. And I remember, like, my freshman year, we were in the tournament. I still wasn't the guy being asked the questions, but I feel like the open locker rooms, you get to the hotel and like the whole hotel staff was wearing your colors and stuff. There's so much stuff that is unique from the regular season that now when you get down here, it's 10x when you get to the Final Four.
And I'd also say too, like, you can never win the big game until you do, right? Like, I think about Ryan Day for Ohio State. Like, I used to have this perception of Ryan Day, and I know it's a different sport, but I used to have this perception of Ryan Day, like, he'll never be able to win a title. Because he gets in these games, whether it's against Notre Dame in the regular season or whatever, and he's just going to choke. And then all of a sudden, like, he doesn't, right? Like, so I do think experience does matter in terms of preparation, like calming guys down. But I just wonder, once the ball gets tipped, is all that gone? Is all that, or is it just a game at that point?
Well, but what you do leading up to the game matters.
Absolutely.
Like, so
it ruined us.
Yeah, it does matter, because again, you're going to be talked to media requests more than you've ever had. Like, everything is magnified. Your schedule's dictated. We talked about this in the regionals, how you saw, I don't know if anybody's ever saw the UConn's women's coach and what he spoke about the requirements of to practice. So they got media days and spend around talking to a bunch of people. Every media person's in the country is here, and the players have to be made available to them. So you spend so much time. It's not a normal routine. it's different. And I think, like I said, that's where the experience comes in for everyone. Everyone is having to adjust to what this is like. I think there's an excitement that's here. I think the other thing you got to be mindful of is for some people, it's great being here. And then it's also, can you finish the job? Is there an expectation to be here? And I think that's a difference in, it sounds small, but it's not.
Like, it's not just good enough.
It's not just good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of you get here and you hope like, okay, we made it to the Final Four and it's okay. And I think that's one of the reasons why UConn is here is I don't think they're the best team here, but I think they expect to be here. And I think that's why they here in that aspect. And so everyone else is trying to win their first national
Stop looking at him like that, Rob. He's right.
I'm ignoring him, and I'm trying to ignore him. That's why I didn't want to be down here with him. It was why I tried to find me a Michigan shirt to wear today just because I was sitting next to him. I would even wear, if Trevor was here, I'd wear his Illini shirt from yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that'd
But,
be good.
you know.
Don't do that.
Well,
You
I would
already
love to
picked
see
UConn to
RT
win. You can't lie to
But Jeff
people
told me
know.
I could change if I needed to.
people
so
know. You
that
already
was
picked
yesterday.
UConn to win.
That was yesterday.
You already picked
Jeff
UConn
told
to
me I
win.
could
Do you
pick,
want
I
us to
could
pick
change my
UConn
vote.
or not? I mean, which is it?
What?
Do you want us to pick UConn or not?
I want you to sit up straight so you're not hiding behind the Jim Beam bottles.
I can't see him if I don't. Okay. But do you want us to pick UConn or not?
I want you to stay on that side, John.
Okay.
I want you to stay on that side.
I
know
will
where you
be
are.
staying on this
I
side.
know where you are.
Yeah.
You can sit there with the tulip. You guys get your little orange shirts on. It's fine. I get it.
Mike, that one thing I will say, I'll wait till we come back. Take us a break, Mike.
All right, let's take a break. Lots more to come. Obviously, Jeff Goodman's still going to be down at the facility talking to we're assuming Illinois guards, right? And yeah, who knows? Who knows? Stick around. Field of 68.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals and squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers and these kinds of cheers. People are good for you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, one refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome back to a special live broadcast of the Field of 68 from Tom's Watch Bar, downtown Indianapolis, for the Final Four. Jarrell McNeil's here. What's up, Jarrell?
Good to see you guys.
Welcome to the show, man. T.O. still here.
With the crispy cut. You got the fresh
Hey, you know, Final Four weekend had to get it right.
We got a little baby all on. He shining on the screen.
You got to try to get it right before I lose it, RC.
Oh, that Vaseline.
It ain't gonna last forever.
Hold on to it.
You see the gray coming in.
Oh, the gray is already out.
Welcome to the coach, Norm Roberts, who was, I hope this isn't too much, was getting it in this morning in the gym. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
We say pause on getting it in.
What an animal.
I was working out.
He was working out. I like that, coach.
Did he hit him with a pause?
He did. He hit you with it.
That's insane. You're not expecting to get a pause from Norm.
Hey, believe me, my sons do it to me all the time.
It's an honor. And Randolph Childers. Norm, now that we got you here, we were just talking about, what teams have to do in the Final Four to prepare and to get ready. So you've been here. You know what it's like. Just take us through the different experiences that you've had in getting ready and getting your team ready for these games.
Well, I think first and foremost, you've got to try to enjoy the moment. And I know the first time I was here in 2018, it was one of those deals where I never left. I didn't leave the hotel, didn't leave the conference room. I just felt like, hey, we got to be prepared. We got to be prepared to try to play well. And obviously, we didn't play well. We got beat by Villanova pretty bad. They had a great team. But I didn't enjoy anything with the Final Four. The second time we came back in 22, I told my wife, told my kids, I said, no, we're going to go out to dinner. We're going to enjoy it. It was in New Orleans. I said, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to enjoy the process. And, we played very well and obviously won that year, but you have to enjoy it. You really do.
What do you think about the approach? Like, do you think it really, how much of a difference do you think it made? Like, just it sounds like the second time you were much more relaxed, you were savoring.
You can't be uptight. You can't be uptight because you're getting ready to play. When you run into that arena or stadium, man, there's 77,000
It's different.
people.
That's the largest crowd you ever played in front of. And that's what we talked about before, where I said Hurley has an advantage because he's been here. And just to your point, who relaxes the other teams? Who, for all these teams, for Michigan, for Arizona, and for Illinois, is, to your point, it's the first time. Are those nerves? Those nerves are going to be there. Someone has to relax those guys because I referenced you before. That's why I'm glad you elaborated on that.
You're going to be up on a stage. I mean, you're literally on a stage, and the people are so the crowd really doesn't affect you because they're so far away. You wouldn't believe this. The day before the championship game, we went and we did like a shoot around, but really you're doing something really light, quick. You don't want anybody to get hurt or stressed out. And our trainer, our strength and conditioning coach, had the guys sitting around, and I'm telling you, they played duck, duck, goose. They actually played the game duck, duck, goose, chasing each other around, and coach goes, what the hell? And I'm looking at it, and coach goes, let them do it. Let them relax. Let them do it. The other thing that was crazy on the day we won, shoot around, we always shoot half-court shots.
Yep.
You will not believe this. We made 4 half-court shots in a row from different players. It was unbelievable. Like, one guy shot it at one end, everybody was laughing. Another guy shot it, boom, in one end. Then another guy shot it, boom, in one end. It was unbelievable. We said, coach goes, hey, end it right there, guys.
Because you feel like this is our night. You feel like this is our night.
The indicator.
We're going to win this thing.
I mean, I think that's a great point too, though, Coach. And it's sort of a trickle down effect, right? Because it starts at the top of the pyramid and it kind of flows down. Enjoying this moment. 4 teams left right now that are playing in the NCAA tournament. So you could throw everything else out of the window. There's no doubt about it. These are good teams, your quality teams. If you make it to this stage, your quality teams. So you want your guys to be this. And I think that's a huge part, at least on the player side, is that, biggest stage that a lot of these guys are going to ever play on, like RC just said as well, too. But you don't want them uptight. You want them loose. You want them to let not too loose. You want them to be prepared, obviously, and they will be because I know they all come from great staffs. But you want those guys to kind of let it all hang out, let it go, and see what happens with it, man. You don't want to be too uptight. So I thought that was just a great point.
When you played in the tournament, like, what were kind of the things that your coaches would do or something of that nature to kind of relieve that stress? Because I felt like, you talk about you're playing on a stage. Guys, I didn't have good experiences in the NCAA tournament. Not just me, but my team. And from a personal standpoint, like, I just remember I felt like you playing on a stage, I felt like I was on stage the entire time. And I never got the chance to relax and kind of get to myself and be to myself. I would feel like I was always in front of somebody. Being able to mitigate that. I mean, your pressure bust pipes now. And sometimes those things, when it's just too much. One of the two.
Exactly.
One of the two. But what did your coaches do in order to kind of ease the tension a little bit? Because we had none of it. There was just more of it.
I'm with you, Tio, and I didn't have a lot of tournament success either. And that's one of the things looking back on, and not, obviously to hold them, but just say they're to blame. But I played for Coach Crean for 3 years. So we walking into these open shoot-arounds and, your hour on the floor, and it was, before we even got out there, he was already like, hey, no, we're not wasting this time. Like, it's full on.
It's practice.
Hey, he wasn't uptight, was he?
Coach.
Oliver was the same way. We were pressing.
Today. Some guys are like that, and that's one of the things, and that's not to be critical of him, because he was a guy that had been to a Final Four at that juncture in his career, and his eyes were set on trying to get back. We were all trying to accomplish something, but those first 3 years, I wish I would have enjoyed it more. I got a different kind of chance to look at it and view it and really enjoy it my last year playing under Buzz Williams, obviously, because Buzz was a little bit more, I would say, closer to a player coach, easy going,
Like, we got a chance to go out to dinner. Those first 3 years, like, man, you want to make a deep run. Like, nah, let's block out the noise. Let's eliminate all distractions. I need curfew at this time. And it's like, that's cool. You're going to be prepared. You got to obviously make sure that you hold your guys accountable and they doing the right things. But with good teams that make it to deep runs, I don't think you're necessarily worried about that at that time of the year. So you should be able to let your hair down a little bit and have some fun with it, T.O.
I just remember we would have, like, the media practice where it was open, we were pressing because it was like coach was trying to show what he was about to the media as opposed to kind of loosening up and being a part of getting into the game and making sure that guys felt comfortable in their surroundings. We never had that. It was much more like, I'm going to show everybody here. We're going to prepare more at our private practice, and then we're also going to have a shoot around just to make sure everybody. So we ended up seeing court time, I want to say 6 times within 24 hours of the game, just because of the stress level that the coach also brought. And keep in mind, these are 18, 19, 21, 22-year-old guys, not now. You get my point.
26, 27.
Yeah, these are younger players. And even so, you're not an adult till you're 30. That's what I believe. Yeah. But all that being said, like, you have to manage the stress level. I think that's one of the biggest keys to this whole thing. And if you've done it before, I think you have a significant leg up at the Final Four.
I think, that when I said in 22, it was different. Coach kind of let the guys go out, let them have a night for their own,
free time,
stay together. You have to do that, and just because when you get out there and play, just let it all hang out. That's what you're saying. Let it all hang out, guy. We talk. I'll go back to 22. We're down 15 at halftime, and to Carolina, who have been playing great. Everyone thought that coach probably went into the locker room and he was like, "Come on, guys," getting on to him, yelling at him. We didn't do that. We walked in the locker room, go in the coach's locker room. Coach goes, "Hey guys, we're not playing very well. We got, but we had shots. We get, But he was very calm. But in the players' locker room, it was quiet, really quiet in there. But you could hear them talking to each other. And then when we walked in, coaches said, "Hey guys, can't we play better than what we just did?" And I remember McCormick was smiling. He just kept smiling. And coach is like, "What are you smiling about, Big Dave?" And he goes, "Coach, we're going to come back. We've been here before, Coach. We know what we didn't do. We're going to come back." And for us sake, we did come back. It was great.
RC, let me ask you this, because you played international, and Illinois is a team that's made up of a lot of international guys. And we're talking about how you feel when you get to the stage, right? And I want to frame it as well as I can, but like, the Ivicic brothers, Merkovich, they probably did not grow up dreaming to play American college basketball. It happened that way. I just wonder if you think maybe from that they don't maybe feel the nerves as much because it's not something that they ever thought they'd be doing, playing in a Final Four, or like in a driveway like American guys would do. I'm just wondering if you think there's anything to that at all.
I think they do it more than you guys think they do. I think the popularity of the game and wanting to come over here and learn different facets and be a part of it is they grow up watching, right? They'll stay up late. They'll watch it first thing. Like, there's a big influence, as you know. So they're
especially in that part of Europe.
Yes, in Europe in general, as much as soccer is big, when they love basketball, they love basketball. So they're up late watching things like that. So I would say it's more of a dream than you think, because guys like that don't have to be here. They can go over and make a heck of a lot of money,
right?
Playing in their own country and other countries in Europe that are playing. So I think that happens more than you give it credit for, or more than the average person believes. They are prepared for the moment because they're fans and how the environments are. I don't think that'll bother them. The stage won't bother them. Again, it just becomes, for everybody, it just becomes, all right, how do you feel? Like, what coaching-wise? Like Norman just said, I think that's so important. Like, when you're comfortable in this space and you allow your guys to be that way, and like T.O. just said, you'd be surprised at how often that happens. Like, coaches will be like, "Well, we're going to practice." Like, you get that hour. Like, as a player, I wanted that hour just to shoot. Matter of fact, I wanted it to be whatever I wanted it to be. Whether if I did 30 minutes of shooting, 30 minutes of stretching. Like, when you get rigid and you get tight and you feel like, all right, we got to get loose in the hallway. As soon as we get an hour, we're going hard for that entire hour.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's the most ridiculous thing as a player. I go, but then some coaches will be like, that's not long enough because they're used to having long practices. They'll find a local gym at a school, a university, high school gym, and they're 2 hours in there, and then you already practice over there, and then you coming over here, and it's just like saying, hey, we're going to get up, we're going to shoot over here, just to get you loose and get to the basket. So I think of those.
When I tell you that's exactly what happened with our guys, that is exactly what happened with us.
It never turns out good when you're in it. When that happens, it never turns out well. So it's hard to say that when you haven't been, and I'm pretty sure all these coaches have talked to people about how to handle that. Like, you reach out to coaches that have been there and you draw upon experience, but being loose, and then being too loose, like it's like Rich, like you got to find the balance, and we got to step on it and go hard here. I got to let up off the gas and let you guys be loose and have some fun or whatever. But it's the balance, and a lot of the balance being comfortable comes with experience of being here. And again, that's why we talked about it with Hurley and these guys. They've never been in this environment, and there's nothing they've done to prepare them for what they're going through when they walk out and play a game in a football stadium that's 80,000 people, and there won't be an empty seat in the building. They haven't seen that before. So the basketball settles you down, but when does that happen? In a game like both of these games, actually, I think they're so close that all it takes, you don't have a TV timeout to get settled. You don't have 8 minutes to settle. You don't always have that, because I think that they're so close in how they play the game. It's not like, a switch that these teams can go on and just say, hey, I don't think there's one of these teams are 15 points better than the other team.
Once you get into the game, 5 minutes or so into the game, it is a game. You're in the game, and you're not worried about, are we up on the stage, 70,000 people? You almost kind of get that out of your ears. You don't really hear it anymore.
You have to take over at that point. Normal.
You are just focusing on that team and playing that game.
My only thing is if that pressure is high, and when I say pressure, I mean the amount of time you're on a floor, and Randolph alluded to basically exactly what happened. Coaches can enter a game with their players having a half tank of gas now.
Oh, yeah.
And like, your job as a head coach, being in those spots, and as an assistant coach, we talked about the ops guys, like, you need to have those guys as close to a full tank as possible heading into that game. And I think coaches think they have more influence, and I'm saying this as a guy who also coached too. So the players are the ones that's got to make it happen. They have to be in the biggest spot. They have to be there. They have to have the energy to do that. I've seen the other side where guys just fall off a cliff in that second half just because you're playing on a half tank of gas, and it makes it incredibly difficult.
We always talked about, Bill would always say, get them off their feet, get them off their feet, get them off their feet. Even when we went back to the hotel, hey, no walking around, get off your feet, lay down, relax, PlayStation or whatever the games are they play now, and that stuff. So,
Jarrell, I know you're obviously a Chicago guy, Illinois' first Final Four since 2005. We're talking about pressure. I know that's not these guys. I know it's not this staff, but do you think that is a thought at all?
I mean, it's a thought for the fan base for sure, and obviously it's going to be electric. They're going to have probably more fans than anybody that's participating in the Final Four this year. But you kind of alluded to it already, John. Completely different dynamic, completely different team. Some of that is what we were just talking about with the influx of the international guys as well too. But pound for pound, in my opinion, that might have been the best Illinois team I've seen in my lifetime for sure. With D. Brown, Darryn Williams, Luther Head, Roger Powell, James Augustine, absolute loaded team, and they were one of the most fun teams to watch throughout that entire season. And, obviously they came up a little bit short. So, it's an opportunity. They haven't been here in a long time. They got this thing back in the Midwest, 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Chicago or so, even less from Champaign. So it should be an opportunity for them to exercise some demons.
Anybody on this panel was an assistant coach for that 2005 Illinois team? Do you guys know?
No, it was not me.
I was in high school. I was coming out of high school at that point.
I would tell you, D. Brown and Darryn, we recruited,
squad.
And then James Augustine, those guys, we had left and gone on to Kansas. But I will tell you, the Orange Crust is going to be out in full force.
Sir.
I'm telling you, the Illinois fans, they are big time. They are big time. They are going to be out for. There's going to be a lot of orange in the building, guaranteed.
And that's another story for a different day, Coach. But that's a big part of the reason why I didn't end up in orange.
Well, I mean, we got 3 hours, brother. You got stories, man. Let them go.
So then you just beat up on me in St. John's.
Hey, Coach, hey, that's just how it worked out. Okay? That's just how it worked out.
Yeah, that's. Well, let me know when you're ready for that. We'll give you the space, Coach. When you've been to multiple. Like, what was that you can remember the first moment where it's like it sank in, the weight, the moment? Like, was there something that you recall that you remember? You're like, oh my God, I'm hearing this.
I think when you first come out to shoot, and you come out. Now, the other thing is different. We were in San Antonio, I think, when we played Villanova, and Villanova beat. I think it was San Antonio. But no matter what, the arena that we were in, the stadium we were in, the locker room was so far.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost, it's a half a mile at least to get there. And I remember, we had lost, and Coach kept bringing this up. And believe me, it wasn't the reason why we lost. But he kept saying, guys, because we would come out, our guys would shoot early, then they go back in, then we come out and shoot again. And Villanova kind of didn't do that. And someone suggested to Coach, your team was worn out before the game even started. Now, that had nothing to do with it. Villanova was fantastic and everything. But I thought in New Orleans, the locker rooms are much closer. It was much closer. So when you first walk out and you see that stadium and that crowd and everything, it's electric, man. You're like, wow, we are here. We are here. It's big time.
You got to do that, monitor that also. And we talked about a bunch of different things. But getting to the arena not too early, and not letting your guys go out there too early, because the excitement is there, and then they'll get out there on the floor and they're there 2 hours before the game and they're just going. And then, it's a lot. You got to kind of be like, hey, guys, relax. You got plenty of time to warm up, because most guys are already soaking wet before they even come out for the official warm up. Like, it's so many little things you got to monitor that's different. It's like a late game situation. You can't simulate that until you get into this environment. You can't. The game is the game once you're playing it, but everything from warm up to what time you get, everything is just different. And then you're like, because you're taking in sights. You've never been here all year long. This is the goal. And then you finally get here before you start playing basketball. One thing I'd add to you is, were you guys favored in both of those games? Like, because that's another pressure I think that teams feel when you're favored as opposed to when you're an underdog.
We didn't feel any of that, because just like Jarrell said, they're 4 great teams. You know that, and especially when there's no underdogs. Now, we were there with Villanova, us, Loyola was there, and Michigan was on the other side. But our focus was on Villanova, and obviously Villanova had a great team with Brunson and all those. I mean, you don't know it until later. They had
so many
7 NBA guys on that team. We had 2.5 on that team. So it's amazing what happens later on. But we kind of focused more on the team that we were going to play, and then obviously your next opponent, but you focused on the team you're going to play.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting way to look at it, RC. It's like Illinois is favored over UConn on Saturday, and I'm just wondering, is that because of maybe an expectation of fan base? Given the proximity to, where this Final Four is going to be.
No, I mean, the Illini is a damn good team. I mean, their size and the way that they're playing. UConn hasn't played great down the stretch. This wasn't the team that you can go for the most part. I mean, they finishing up the street. Like St. John's won the Big East, and then turn around and won the regular season and won the Big East tournament. So. No one expected UConn to be here. They hadn't shot the ball well all year, So it was just a surprise that they're here. We knew they were. We talked about this a bunch, T.O. We gave UConn a pass because of Hurley. We were like, he's such a good coach that we elevated UConn as a team that hadn't played like a team that we ever thought would be a Final Four team. I don't think there's many people outside of UConn that would have picked them in the Final Four because of the inconsistencies and things that they had figured out during the year. But again, this team just hit the switch. for it, and that's impressive. So Illinois should be favored, and I get that. Their size, their length, the way they defend, they got to have bodies. We talked much about Reed, and I don't know if we talked about on the other side, and their length, and now how they're going to attack him. Because he's going to have to play defensively on the perimeter. Not that he can't, but he's guarding guys that they're not going to be inside. They're going to be they're going to spend a ton of time on the perimeter, and he's going to have to guard on the perimeter now. So he may not be the guy that has to come over and rotate over and be on the rim protect. So it's different. They both pose issues that you just don't see within your regular team. And he's going to be guarding bigs like that. It's so fun to get into that, and out boring people with that. But he's going to do his damage around the rim. That's what he wants to do. But on the other end, defensively, he's going to spend more time on the three-point line and then rotating down or defending those guys at the three-point line. And that's different. He didn't have to do that against Duke. He didn't have to do that in most of his matchups. But in this matchup, that's a unique thing when you're guarding a footer that's going to sit and space you. And so I think as much as we talked about Reed, they don't have to match his production, but if they can keep him out of the three-point line and maybe have him late on a rotation, getting fouls, things of that nature, I think that's the reason why, Indiana are favorite.
Yeah, T.O., UConn, to the point, has, they're finding ways to win. It's not looking amazing.
Yeah.
It's not looking perfect. How dangerous does that make them, though? I think in this tournament, in this game, and maybe in that if they get past Illinois.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the expectation to win matters. And, they have their pieces. They've been there. They know how to win. Caravan, talk about a winner. I mean, his entire career. How many have his resume in terms of wins and losses? And him finding his niche as the guy who, I'm going to be that extra piece, and understanding that. The expectation to win and how good Dan Hurley, they walk into every game when tournament time comes and they're like, well, we're going to win this.
Yes.
We're going to win this game and this is how we're going to do it. I thought it was interesting, though, 3 minutes to go in the first half against Duke, he's like, man, I don't know. But the game felt manageable down 15. The fact that you're able to say that and their consistent approach, it's every possession, the game felt manageable down 15 really stood out to me in terms of we expect to win, hit a little bump in the road. There's some inconsistencies from our shooting and all that, but we expect to win. And those shots start going down at the right times. Would they hit 4 of their last 6? A lot of that comes with, hey, we're a winning team. We're going to find ways to get this done. And Dan, to his credit, always just hangs around. And that's the thing. You'll look at Illinois. They'll hit shots. They'll hit threes. If UConn just hangs around, you could get nervous there in the last 5 minutes, and UConn's been there.
Yeah, and that's the advantage, too, of being here and having done it. All right, we have a lot more to come here from Tom's Watch Bar. Stick around. Field 68.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing. Or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals. And squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers. And these kinds of cheers. People are good. For you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with sense. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Hits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome back to a special live Field of 68 broadcast from Tom's Watch Bar in downtown Indianapolis. We're here all week, obviously, for the Final Four. We're also forming a union here at the Field of 68. Me, T.O., anybody else want to join?
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in.
Okay. We're forming a union. We got to get some HR practices, hammered out.
hungry.
So, RC, can we count
You
on
want to talk about an HR headache? Just look at the text thread. Yeah, don't even bother.
That's exactly right. But until we get that taken care of off air, couple things that I want to throw at you guys. This is something that Dagan just sent in the text thread. And games decided by 5 points or less, Jarrell. UConn's 10-1. Illinois is 1-6, including 0-4 in overtime. That's 353rd nationally. Is this signal? Is it just noise? What would you say?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. And if I remember correctly, I just remember Coach Underwood was a little bit touchy about the subject during one of those.
He would never.
Losses that they had.
Brad Underwood?
Like, we're a good team. What are you talking about? What in the game struggles? Like, we won a lot of those games. So I know he was a little bit touchy about it, but the proof is in the pudding. So have they struggled a little bit? Is some of that just circumstantial? A play here, a play there, the game goes the other way? Absolutely. But one of the biggest things I'll say, and this is just me going back through the bracket up to this point, they haven't had any. And I do think that's advantage to everybody else in the tournament, or at least UConn, especially coming off the game. Illinois hasn't had any. They arguably have had the weakest path to the Final Four. And now some of that isn't on them, but they haven't beat anybody of significance outside of Houston, in my opinion. And you got Iowa. Don't get me wrong, VCU was good. Penn, but it's just like not a lot of.
Man, you're saying Illinois just skipped to the Final Four.
They kind of did. I mean, I thought that for my bracket, it was them and Houston. It was like whoever wins.
So are you just mad because your bracket messed up?
Or? No, because my bracket was busted before that, RC. So it's not that. Like, I'm not hating on them, but at the same time, it's like you look at it and it's like, man, you couldn't draw it up. I mean, even before the tournament started, and LaTulip said this a while back. He was just like, man, I love this route. And I was on the same night we were doing the pod when he said it, and I was like, he's right. Like, whoever wins that game between them and Houston is probably going to get there. And it just so happened to work out that it ended up with, what was Iowa, 9 seed? You had to beat a 9 seed. Yep. And I'm not saying that Iowa wasn't good. They were a great team, and they
no, but we get it.
What I mean? Like, you beat a 9 seed to get a trip to the Final Four.
But they had to beat Houston.
I mean, that was the one. That was the one. But even still with that, they handled them. So it wasn't like, that was a nip and tuck game. They handled Houston. And I mean, they beat them convincingly.
I think 5 points is like an arbitrary, like, where it's like 5, was that 2, like, what if it's 6? What if it's 7? What if it's 8? They won that game against Houston by 10. It wasn't like it was just, that was a 2-point game at half. So they still had to grind that out.
Yeah, but it wasn't close at the end. The last
it's also a team that didn't match up well with them.
Did not at all.
Houston is not a team that struggles to score. And we knew they'd have a tough time matching up with the Illini. So Houston probably would have fared better playing someone else other than playing the Illini with the inverted style that we talked about. Like, we talked about that. Their bigs going to spend so much time on the perimeter, and that's not obviously what Houston's accustomed to. They want to trap the post, get it really aggressive on ball screens. Houston, guards was just a tough matchup for them, but they're playing good ball. I think we'll all give them credit for that. I mean, I do understand what you're saying about that. They didn't play a number 1 seed to get here, and they had to beat Houston, who I thought was tailor-made for them to be here. But they're deserving of it. Their size, like T.O. said earlier, and I agree with it. I think they're probably better equipped to play either one of the teams on the other side because of the size of the team. And that's what makes this fun.
Goes back to the same thing, though. Expect to win. Yeah. I mean, 10-1 in games decided by what you said, 5 or less.
Yes.
I mean, at some point, that's no longer a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, that's execution.
That's all what you are, and we've seen that throughout the tournament. Like we said, we won about as much as we talk about the UConn comeback win. Duke on the other side had been in that moment against Texas Tech.
Yep.
Up big, they came back, they lost. We saw it again with Carolina, up big, came back and they lost. And so that was just something that it happens. Does it show itself in that moment? It does. It did. And so when you're in these close games, I think both teams, with this group, do they have a guy they can give the ball to say, go win me a game or go get me a bucket? Or are both of these teams, and in this tournament, do I have to design something for us to get it off and for us to win?
And just real quick to that point, the games that they lost recently, the other team has had those guys. Whether it was the Donovan Dent layup at UCLA, was it Nick Boyd going crazy for Wisconsin? Like, you know what I'm saying? They had that electric dude where it's just like at the end of the game, give them the ball, get the hell out the way.
I think Illinois, we were saying this before, me and T.O., I think Illinois' got to be careful, even though I know they're favored. They've got to be careful to say, okay, we lost to UConn early, but now our team's a lot better. So, of course, we're going to play better, and then we can beat them. Because UConn's gotten a lot better. Their team has changed. You know, we talk about UConn not playing well. They had a lot of injuries and things. And even those games they lost 2-3, they were close games.
Even Arizona.
Yes.
I mean, you're missing 2 starters when you lost Arizona.
They were close games. So UConn's playing very well. The other thing is, everybody keeps saying, well, UConn's not playing that well. Do you think Hurley's not using that? He's using that with his guy. Hey, people don't think we can win. Come on, just right. So they're going to have that chip on their shoulder as well to come out and play well.
And on the flip side of that, we're winning, but we're not playing well. Imagine if we play well.
Yes.
I could see Dan going that route.
Yes.
Right. And this is a UConn team that has not shot the ball. Credit. What do we got? Oh, man.
Nobody wanted to hear what I had.
You got a broken mic.
Sorry about that.
No, I mean, I think that's the direction I would go. We're winning games. We're not playing well. We hit timely shots against Duke, but we shot at, what, were they 1 for 18 leading up to those? Like, there's a lot to be said there. We're not playing our best ball. We're still happening. Yes, food. Love it.
God, you're hungry.
Perfect time.
That was very sweet of her.
See, our unionization's working already.
Yeah.
You know?
A threat of a union did it. The threat of the union did it.
Dauster sent some lobster over. Yeah.
CBA.
There we go. Absolutely. I think the stat, just to bottom line it before we get to the other game, which people have said is the national championship anyway. I don't care about the stat. Illinois is a good enough team to beat the shit out of teams.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me, right? I get that you had some bad variance in the lower score in the lower margins, but that could flip. And I think we'll see how this one plays out, but. We got Dusty May. As a matter of fact, we'll go to Jeff Goodman and Michigan coach Dusty May for the preview of Michigan Arizona.
Yeah, John, we got Dusty here, and this one, as you walked in today, I looked at you and I said, the last time I saw you at a Final Four, you were the dog. You were the big underdog. You came in with FAU. Nobody thought you should be there. Now you're here as a team that can really win this whole thing. What's been the difference from maybe even your approach from having learned something from the last time around?
Well, when you look at our guys' response when we were able to win our last game, there was no celebration by making it to the Final Four. We've had the mindset all year that we want to be playing on Monday night, and it's not Monday night yet, so it's still a work trip, and we're all about business.
All right, so you know where I went to school.
I do.
And they really don't like me there. I'm trying to get them back. So I did pick Arizona. All right, I did pick Arizona. I want a full disclosure.
I'm sure you guys know that, but
well, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I mean, again, you look at the big man matchup between the two of you. I never thought we'd be at this point. If you had told me or probably anybody 5 years ago where the game would be right now, that you'd have all these bigs in the Final Four, wouldn't you have been surprised?
I would have been shocked. The way the game was trending, the way the game was being taught and played at the highest level. Obviously, this is very unique. This is a byproduct of the NIL, of these bigger players not playing in the G League. They're playing in college basketball, and instead of playing in the EuroLeague or Euro Cup, they're playing here in the States.
How much fun has it been to coach this group? Because I've been around them. Obviously, I was in Vegas when I saw you guys tear through that field at Vegas. Like, how much fun has it been for you? Because you had fun with the FAU group, but again, it was different. It was different that you guys could kind of come out of nowhere. This team just seems like you have fun with this group.
Yeah, our Final Four team at FAU, I never thought I would enjoy coaching a team as much or more. And I definitely couldn't enjoy coaching a team more than that group that year. This team has been right on par. The way they've given to see how much they've improved. And there have been different problems and different issues, as we all have flaws, but they've improved collectively and singularly as much as any team I've been around.
Yeah, Axel. So much fun to be around and so much fun to watch. I mean, the fact that you guys were able to get him, I mean, think about it. Like, he could have went. He could have been in the NBA. I don't know where he would have been drafted, but it could have been as high as 20. It might have been as low as 35, whatever, 40. But did you know what you were getting out of him completely until you saw what he could do, like with everything, the versatility?
No, not to this level. There were things we projected. We thought he had a beautiful jump shot, so he would need reps, and we would have to make him shoot more threes and get his volume up. Fortunately, he couldn't get a guaranteed first-round pick. They tried. They took it to the last couple of days, and it's very difficult to get a first-round guarantee in the NBA draft. Now, where he was drafted, no one knows. He could have slid to the second round. Who knows? He's certainly improved his stock greatly this year, but he's also much more prepared to play because of the physicality of this level, because of the night in, night out competition. And so I think it's paid off well for him, but it's been really cool to learn his story and be a part of it, because he's a lot different than we thought as a human. And he's certainly much different than any of us knew as a player. And I think a month from now and 3 months from now, we'll be saying the same thing, because he's just scratching the surface, Jeff.
Elliot, yesterday, what the heck happened? Nut allergy? And give me the play-by-play. What went down at the team meal?
Well, we've had the same post-game meal for about the last 6 trips, because it seems to be working well. And we threw in a curveball with another spot, and there was a cashew dressing with one of the meals, and he tried it without reading the label, and because of the number of reasons, it slipped through the cracks and just had an allergic reaction.
Were you there? Did you watch this happen where?
No, he got on the bus and said, "Where's Chris? I need my EpiPen." EpiPen. And so then we took him to the training room, and after that it was precautionary and just making sure that we didn't want him to be on a bus or flight in case something else happened. So we held him back for precautionary reasons, and fortunately he's here with us now. And
Fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's and we need him. He's an emotional leader of our group. He's the brain trust of this team.
All right, 2 more. One, Arizona. What worries you the most about this Arizona team? What stands out the most when you watch them on film?
Probably the 2 things that scares the most are their ability to get into the paint and get downhill and break your defense down, which leads to foul trouble and free throws, and then the offensive glass. If they are able to do that, then our defense is out of its shell. We don't have bodies on bodies, and they're able to control the glass.
Last one. Obviously, there's been a lot said about the North Carolina opening. Your name has been attached. Tommy Lloyd's name has been attached. Can you comment on it? I mean, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, but I got to do my job and ask as well.
I decided last year when my alma mater came open that no matter what you said, it could be misinterpreted, and so I'm forever going to not comment on any job that's not mine. I'm incredibly happy and honored and blessed to be the coach at Michigan in the Final Four, representing this amazing university and athletic department, but I'll never comment on a job that's not mine.
Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Appreciate it. Too.
See what you had to do.
All right, a lot to break down there. It sounds.
Was that a no, John Martin?
It was not a no.
Was that a no?
But I think it's a good policy. Right? It's like, I'm just never going to comment on a job that's not mine. That way, it's like you guys will stop asking.
That's why you make rules.
Yeah.
That's how you get nice extensions.
That as well.
Yes, exactly.
What did the waitress just ask, John Martin?
That's another. No, if you didn't hear it, that's really unfortunate. She asked, "Are you from here?" Yeah, I don't see you ever here. Yeah. No, but let's get back to the show, fellas. Let's focus, please. I think it's a good policy, so that way people will stop asking about other jobs. But I do wonder, is Dusty May, not that that's the biggest thing out of that, but is Dusty May, does it make sense for him to leave Michigan for UNC? Whoever wants to take that.
He's got a great job. Michigan is a great job. Carolina obviously is a very good job too. Guys have to be careful. I've seen other guys move to take the so-called fantastic job, and it just not work out for him. To me, he's found his niche there at Michigan. The people there love him. He's done a great job in recruiting. It's only going to get better there. People are getting even more excited about Michigan basketball. I think he probably should stay put.
I think, too, Dusty, who is fantastic in front of people, who's fantastic in front of the media, in front of boosters, all those things, comfortable with Michigan having an awesome football team, too. And, you go from Michigan where you are second fiddle, point blank period, you're second fiddle to football, and they'll acknowledge that too. Going to Carolina, you're 1A. And no matter what they try to do with Bill Belichick, Carolina is a basketball school, and that's going to be the thing.
Forever.
How comfortable are you with that extra bit of spotlight at Carolina? And if all the fundings are the same anyway, why take that spotlight?
Exactly.
That's kind of where I would be with Dusty. But the personality fits. I think as far as an institution, he fits at Michigan. As far as his personality in an institution, he fits at North Carolina. But he can make both legs work, and I think he'd be terrific at North Carolina too. I just feel like the Michigan job is that of the same ilk.
The guy's a hell of a coach. Yes. I think he can fit wherever the hell he decides he wants to go. I think he can fit in Carolina. There's what is his family thing? That's a part in that decision, right? When you talk about a guy that came from Florida, right? Does he enjoy the weather in Ann Arbor, the winters? Does he enjoy the travel?
It's a great question.
Those are legitimate questions. He handled the answer the right way. He's one of the best coaches in the business, and there's no doubt about that. You and I were talking about how good we thought he was off air. Those are things that have come into this. It's not an easy decision because of what he's done, but in this time and ever, the resources are there. It's not just because Carolina, but those are just other factors that, other than just wherever you rate the job, you rate it. It doesn't matter. He's in the Final Four for the second time in the last 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
And that train's not stopping, man.
And it's not.
What he's got going in Michigan,
he is really good. And again,
soon.
We're talking about a guy doing this at FAU. Like, we're not talking about him doing it at another high major school. So just to be here, the guy can flat out coach. Guys like being around him. And also, he's done it completely different. Look how he built that team, and then look over here now. Those are qualities that not everybody can do. He's showing you he can adapt. He can figure it out. There's no question that he's on the list. I mean, he's on the top of that list with the two guys he's playing against. Either one of those guys I think is great.
But let's not get it twisted too. Michigan has great tradition too. I mean, they've had great players. Great it's not like you're
That's
leaving.
why I said it's weather. I'm like, it's weather, the white things of that nature. Michigan is legit.
If you're getting paid enough, you can make it pretty warm at home. And
money won't be the problem. That's why I say it's like. But the wife come to you and be like, "Babe, it's a little cold here. I'm used to coming from Florida." It doesn't matter. Either one is great jobs. The tradition, the money, every resources, everything's there. It's not an easy decision, but whatever he makes, he makes. I just think that there's a reason why Carolina is waiting. They're going to force one of these two coaches to tell them no.
Yeah, I was going to say too, and one of the things that I just think about, and this is kind of knowing the ends of how Carolina goes about their business, it's a considerable amount of pressure if they do decide to end up, in which it looks like they will. They're going to go outside of the Carolina family. So after the way that things transpired with Hubert Davis and the way that he was let go, and he was a Carolina guy, like, you know what I mean? Do you want to step into that pressure cooker after you've already kind of flipped this thing at Michigan? Some of us were kind of laughing at the roster he put together this shit before we saw it on the court, right? It was funny out now. You got all these big dudes. Where the guards? Like, you know what I mean? So do you want to go into that pressure cooker after you've, like y'all already said, a program that has great tradition, great history as well, too, great resources is one of the other things that nobody gets talked about. And he kind of gets to play the background in a sense, because the football's still going to be king. It's always going to be king at Michigan. So, you know what I mean? And he's doing his part. Obviously, they're in the Final Four. So,
do you want to be the main show on campus? I actually think, you talk about the wife, talk about the weather. Do you want to be the show on campus?
I think every coach wants that.
I don't know. I don't know that Dusty necessarily does. I think he's very comfortable in that.
I think he's comfortable either way. I don't think any of that. I don't think any of the things we're talking about as far as that will matter to him, in a sense of both jobs are great. To me, this will be more something like along the lines of, I just left and just got here. It's been been here 2 years. Like, do I want to take another job in such a short span? The weather, do I want to deal with the winters? Yeah, you're warm when you're inside, but we're kidding ourselves if we're going to sit here and say where you are doesn't matter in the sense of when I can say. It's like saying, hey, I can have a mansion and live in Florida, or I can live in Detroit. Give me Miami. Like, let's not, like, so location,
8 Mile Road,
when it matters.
You don't want to live on 8 Mile Road?
No. Listen, I lived in Detroit. I'm only saying weather-wise, I don't sign up for snow in April. I just don't. I just would prefer to be somewhere where it's a little bit warmer. From someone I know sitting next to me that's moving to Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Don't tell me weather don't matter because somebody's moving to Tampa. I'm just saying.
He's got his chubbies and he's moving to Tampa.
37 years of living in 37 years of living in the Midwest. We're not talking about 37. I'm ready to get some warm weather.
Put your time in, coach.
Yeah. He's like, I done punched my clock. I'm tired of snow. I want to see another ounce of snow. That's what Ann Arbor could do to you in one winter. So, but no, I think, listen, I'm not saying as if Michigan's a bad job. You can't go wrong either way. I just think that those are just some of the things that you got to look at that can help in his favor. He may say, I just took over this program. I don't want to go through all that again. Had he been at Michigan 5 or 6 years, 7 years, the decision might be a little easier. I think it'll be really difficult for him to leave what he has rolling there right now.
Agreed.
But I do think the travel, having gone through the league, all of that, the weather, that stuff matters. It'll, there is a conversation that's going to be had, and whether he takes it, he takes it. But I don't think I think his personality. This dude's a hell of a coach and a hell of a person.
And I was
his personality fits no matter where he goes.
And look, North, you can't deny the greatness of that job, but this is a generational opportunity, Jarrell, where if you want to get the most from your administration, and your name comes up for that job, this is the time to do it.
And Michigan is a Jordan school, correct?
Yes.
It is a Jordan school, correct?
They brand
So they already got Mike.
Yeah.
Well, if Mike make a call, Mike been known to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to send you a little less gear. I send the special gear down to Chapel Hill. I don't send everybody else the gear. I send to Chapel Hill.
I was about to say,
that's facts.
Marquette brand Jordan, too, and I don't think we getting the same package. I don't know, man. But, but that's a great point, too, John. Like, obviously, this is a great leverage opportunity for all of these coaches as well, too. Your name is coming up and all these, they're well within their rights to use that to their advantage. If you found the place that you want to be already, now's the time to go ahead and, all right, let's
never say no until it's an absolute no.
Absolutely.
I would say this. I can guarantee you, Dusty May is not thinking one iota about North Carolina. He is not. No. He is thinking about Arizona.
Yeah.
He's thinking about winning. He's thinking about those kids that he's with.
That's what I took.
Kids, men that he's with. That's what he's thinking.
That's what I took from the interview. I took from that interview a coach that's saying we didn't celebrate getting here because he's been here and he didn't win it. So he's like, we have a championship caliber team. We came here to Indianapolis to win the national championship. And that's what we were talking about. Someone that's been here. We're not celebrating like, hey, we made it to the Final Four. He's been there, done that. He's checked the box. We're talking about another coach. And we talked about not having the experience of being here. He's been here in this moment before. And I think that's the focus, like Hurley.
Yep.
And that's the focus.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Norm, you think Tommy Lloyd's thinking about it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he is either.
I'm screening.
But
I was kind of thinking that too, though.
Tommy's not distracted. We're distracted.
Tommy's probably, he's got great weather. So, he doesn't leave for that weather. And Arizona has great tradition, too. They've had great teams and those things. So, I don't think it's as easy to think guys are going to jump. We talked about the NIL, which now – blue bloods, yes, they're blue bloods. But now it's a different era. It's a different time. People aren't just jumping over to go there to say, because we can get to these players because we're at Carolina.
Right.
That's not the case anymore. You can get great players anywhere you're at as long as you have the funds.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we have a lot more to come. We'll actually talk about this game. We haven't really talked about the game itself, so we'll do that. And then who we coach for. Stick around, Field 68.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing. Or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals. And squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers. And these kinds of cheers. People are good. For you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to Rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with scent. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Welcome back to a special live broadcast, Field of 68 from Tom's Watch Bar, downtown Indianapolis for the Final Four. We got Jarrell McNeil, we got Mike Latula, we got the coach, Norm Roberts, and we have the dastardly, the diabolical, the down bad as ever, Rob
I'm just glad that we
Dauster.
can finally see you on the broadcast, John.
Huh?
I'm just glad we can finally see you on the broadcast.
Yeah, you can always see me on the broadcast. I just have poor posture. You know, I mean, I think I saw some content where, you know, what makes a short king, like what's the cutoff, and I'm definitely a short king, okay? Because it's 6 foot, I'm 5'10".
I mean, you are short.
So I'm short. Well, I'm a short king. Can you show some respect? Can you show some respect, please?
What did Riley come over? What did she say to you when she came
She asked
over?
me, do I come here often, and would I be available after the show ended? And I said, I'm actually married with 3 kids. If you want to be a stepmom, yeah, if you want to be a stepmom, I'm all about it, for sure. But anyway, let's is this live? Oh, sorry. All right, Michigan, Arizona. It's going to be one for the ages. There's no doubt about that. We've talked a lot about Illinois, UConn. Jarrell, Michigan is a short favorite, -1.5. They had the episode yesterday with Elliot Cadeau. Seems fine, according to Dusty May. What do you make of this game?
I mean, I think it should be an entertaining game for sure. They're sort of teams that are similar, in my opinion. Like, you know, they have a heavy influence in the front court. They both are huge. They both got multiple big guys. The separator, I believe, is going to end up going to be the guard play as well, too. But one of the things that also stands out to me, the way that they've continued to win both of these teams throughout the course of the year. The battle on the boards is going to be an absolute war. It is going to be a war. Every shot that goes up, every missed shot that goes up, it's definitely going to be a war. And we'll see how that ends up panning out. But one of the things to keep an eye on, too, is just Yaxel's been fantastic these last couple games since the NCAA tournament has really started. He's kind of flipped that switch a little bit, almost putting the team on his back offensively. But traditionally, both of these teams aren't teams that where it's like this guy averages 25, this guy averages 20 a game. They kill you with balance, and they have multiple guys up and down their roster that average 10, 12, 13 points a game. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. Obviously, I think whoever wins this game is going to be the heavy favorite going into the next game. But, you know, as we know, this time of year, there aren't any guarantees. So we just got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think you hit on a great point, just the balance of these teams. And I think, you know, it's very similar in the way they both want to get out in transition.
Yep.
I think when you look at the paint, just who owns the paint in this game is the big question, because I think for Arizona, you know, they get 35 shots per game in the paint or at the rim. 35. 60% of their scoring output is in the paint or at the rim. So we talked about this last night, but how you guard dribble penetration, transition defense, post defense, all that stuff. I think, in addition to keeping Arizona off the foul line, like Arizona's been phenomenal in that regard. So I look at Mara. You know, this team's been a little bit different when he's off the floor defensively. But you touched on Yaxel, man. Like, for the people that, you know, didn't understand why he's talked about the way he is, because they look at the counting stats. You know, they look at like 14, 15 a game, and they look at, you know, it's not gaudy by any means, but not to like throw too much data in here, But when you look at Elliot Cadeau, like his on-off net rating, like how much you outscore your opponent by per 100 possessions, it's about even. Cadeau on and off the floor. Mara, about even, on and off the floor. Morez Johnson, about even, on and off the floor. Yaxel on the floor versus off the floor. Per 100 possessions, Michigan is outscoring their opponents by 25. And it's not just, hey, look at the data. It's, you see it. He's the best connective piece in college basketball. Defensively, he's the one barking out their switches like a drill sergeant. Offensively, he can pass. He can cut. He can run the open floor. He can get off the glass and go. Like, he's been everything I think Dusty May envisioned he'd be.
You know what's crazy about him? We talked about this yesterday. He's 6'9", 240, right? Yeah. 6'9", 240. Terrace Reed, we talk about as being like this monster big man. We don't know how people are going to deal with him. He's 6'10", 250. Yeah. Yaxel's 6'9", 240. You know what Yaxel does? He guards point guards 94 feet north.
Everything.
Guards point guards. Like, what are we talking about here? What is this? That is not a college basketball player. That is an NBA player that just decided, hey, you know what?
Because he would have been. He would have been.
Fun.
If not,
I like college. I'm gonna stay. I like my chartered flights. I like the experience of being a star in Ann Arbor. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do that.
I would tell you this, Jaden is also for Arizona. Jaden Bradley's also a great connector, and he's been great for their team. And he's great when he's on the court. They're a better team. He's a guy that's been one of the best closers all year. I would say that who wins the glass? You're right. I hope the referees let them play.
Let them play. Please.
Let them play. Yes. Because it's going to be an unbelievable when Toby Awaka comes in the game, I cannot stop saying this guy's name. He is a beast.
At least you can actually say his name.
Yeah, I can say that. Don't worry, I'm going to get the call. But Toby Awaka, he's a beast when he comes in the game. And the other thing is, he is more skilled than you think. Like, he used to be a guy that just rebounded and kind of mauled you. He's gotten more skilled. He can guard out on the perimeter. He's going to guard Yaxel some. He'll do that. Korchenkov, great name. All right. He's a guy that is a great connector. He's a great cutter, good passer, but he relies on his defense. He's going to guard as well. I think this game may come down to which team shoots it better from the three-point.
And that's a great point. And I was just going to say, as far as the guard matchups, and let me know what y'all think. I think Arizona has more aggressive guards who do a better job of getting downhill and getting paint touches, but I think Michigan guards shoot a little bit better, at least right now.
If you don't count in Del Orso coming off the bench. Del Orso he can make shots, Burries can make shots. And believe it or not, he doesn't take as many, but Jaden Bradley's shooting over 40% from the three. He's actually shooting the best percentage, I believe. So they've got guys that can make them.
The Michigan guards, I think, can hit a higher volume of threes, because you have Burnett, you have Cadeau is shooting 40% in this tournament. He's 8 for 20. And I think, when you look at the guards for Arizona, the one thing with Jaden Bradley, that if you're Yaxel guarding him, if you're Cadeau guarding him, like, he does such a good job of getting you up in the air on shot fakes. Like, so many of the fouls that he draws, and like the reason why Arizona was able to get to the free throw line so much is because of his craftiness. And so that's something where I look at that game against Tennessee. I think it was a Tennessee game. Mara picks up, or maybe Alabama. Mara picks up his second foul, and Dusty May goes back to him with like 8 minutes left in the first half. And you can do that because the defense around him is so good. Like, that defense isn't going to get knifed to the point where Mara's put in tough situations. So Dusty May can trust him to go in there, play drop coverage, be an anchor, because there's all these guys who are able to switch and keep the ball in front of him. So I agree. Like, I think that backcourt, Bradley and Burries, like I think that duo is probably more explosive. More explosive scoring the basketball. But Cadeau's done such a good job in this tournament. Like, they're shooting 42% from three in this tournament because Cadeau is just turning corners. He's getting in the paint at a high level. It's beautiful basketball on both ends.
But you got London Borg's making threes.
Yes.
Morez Johnson's actually shooting a good percentage. He doesn't take a
percentage up.
Mara hit one against Tennessee.
Yeah,
he did.
He's making threes. I would tell you, I spoke to one of Arkansas's assistant coaches, a good friend of mine. And we talked about Jaden Bradley. He said, this is the key. They thought they could pressure him and take him out. In reality, what Jaden Bradley does is he's so big and strong and physical. When you try to pressure him, he's going to ram into you, and he's going to get you off balance, and then that's how he gets it. He's not as shifty as some guys or fast, but he is powerful. That's why he gets into the lane.
And that was the thing I was kind of alluding to. Him and Burries are just a lot more physically imposing the way that they play. And Burries can shoot it better. Obviously, Bradley can make shots too when he needs to, but that's a big part of the reason why they get foul trouble. You made a great point, Mike, because when he does the whole shot fake and jump into you and getting guys out there, like, man, those are run stoppers. So, like, it was a couple times during that Tennessee game, I remember specifically, it was like they were trying to crawl back into it, but they couldn't because every time they would, up, shot fake, jump into you, 2 free throws, going to the line.
All right, we have a special report from Jeff Goodman live from Lucas Oil Stadium. Jeff?
Johnny?
Oh, good God.
Get out the ball. All right, here we go.
There we go.
Is that
Now
Matt
remember,
Harpering?
I got the mic in my left hand, but we're checking the inflation of the ball. All right, we're checking the inflation of the ball. It is a little bit. I mean, look. I mean, it's up there. So, I don't know,
Can we
man.
see that
I don't
left?
know.
What the left look like?
I
little
don't have a left. Look. What do you mean?
Shoot a jump shot, Goodman.
What do you
Shoot
want
a
me to
jump
do?
shot. I want you to shoot a
Terrell's
jump
sitting
shot.
on that right hand.
Yeah.
Sitting on that right hand.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go.
Whoa.
There we go. Come on. Look, behind the back. Look at that. Come on, man.
Wow.
He's throwing it up against the
This
wall.
is,
It's coming
back in the
right
rack.
back
All
to
right.
it. Back in the rack.
Hey, listen. You got to do what you got to do. When you have limited skills, you got to do the best you can.
I'm not sure we learned anything other than you look like
it is
a
a little
freak.
bit inflated. The balls are a little bit inflated. I will say that. They are a little bit inflated. Something needs to be done, though. Something does need to be done because a lot of people have complained about the pressure of the balls here over the last couple of weeks of the tournament. So I don't know. I mean, Norm.
Well, so should I bet the under or not? Am I betting the under on both games? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, bet the under. Put everything you have, Johnny. Put your mansion in Mississippi or wherever the hell you live.
It's in Memphis.
In Memphis. In North Memphis, West Memphis.
No, it ain't
wherever
North
you are.
Memphis. No, it ain't there.
Who's on right now? Who's on that can talk about the pressure of the balls? Seriously. Who's on?
Mike
right
Latulip
now?
is actually an expert inflator.
I mean,
gonna give me the numbers.
yeah. I mean, it's like I'm about to say, I don't have a PSI index for you, but I mean, it's always clear, and that's one of the things that with the NCAA tournament, and this is even before. I feel like a dinosaur now, but before they changed the balls to the new
made
ones
a
that they
lighter
use,
color, and that's
yes. They used to have
This
the
one's a little
darker
better.
balls, but they were always overinflated, a little bit too rubbery, a different feel to them. But you know,
They are rubber.
the big. I was about to say you would love and I'm assuming that they're going to use one. I would hope that's broken in.
Yeah.
Or at least had somebody
maybe.
that's used them the last couple of days. I mean, it goes a long way, just especially for your guards, guys that touch the ball consistently, are handling the ball, passing, shooting, and shooters as well, obviously, Mike.
Jeff, I'll say this. When I was at Illinois, the Big Ten Conference, Northwestern used an Under Armour ball. At the time, Wisconsin used a Sterling ball. Michigan used the Rock.
Home court advantage.
And then you had Indiana used an Adidas ball. So we would bring brand new balls, Adidas, Sterling, 3 days leading up to the game, and use those balls in practice. And the first day, the ones that were fresh out of the casing, they were hard as a rock. So you seem like you're in the position right now to do something about it. You're like in this back room, like presumably you could be our savior.
Deflate gate,
I'm
Jeff.
gonna get a pump.
Let the air
I'm gonna
out.
get a pump.
New England guy.
If somebody
you're
can
dribbling
go
on
deliver
carpet,
me a
too.
pump right now, I'm going to take down the pressure of these balls.
Do the
a little
Lord's
bit,
work.
And there's going to be threes made all over Lucas Oil on Saturday night when I get done with this. So Johnny, don't bet the under yet. All right, let me see what I can do. Okay?
All right.
Later.
I think he just said it.
We just said he's
That was my
dribbling on a
biggest gripe.
carpet. Like you don't know how bouncy the balls are. You're not on a.
You got to get on the hardwood.
Was that incriminating?
Disgusted right now throughout that entire segment.
Yeah, I think he just incriminated himself. the NCAA is cracking down on, sports betting scandals.
You know what is even crazier about that whole interview?
I mean, Goodman's going to prison.
Dagan, can you go to the one shot of the tulip real quick for me? What is going on with your earpiece, Mike? That thing is hanging on for
tale as old as time. No, it's a tale as old as time. I have a unique make of an ear. So that's what we have going on.
That thing is hanging on for dear life.
It's just and has it affected me? Am I battling? Yes. But you can try, Dagan. This has been.
So you haven't been able to hear anything
since childhood.
Yeah, we're gonna flip over here.
Since childhood.
All right. Oh yeah, but it's like a real
AirPods, I'm fine. You get like the other ones, no chance.
So I was sitting there looking at the thing hanging on your ear, and I was like, you know what you'd be really good at? The ear tug of war that we were watching.
We've seen a lot of
on this top right TV. There's some crazy stuff that is
cheese rolling.
There's cheese rolling,
or just you roll a wheel of cheese down a hill, and you just run as fast as you can down that hill and break every bone in your body, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, I want to come back to you because I've already
cheese rolling.
I've already put in a massive bet on Michigan, and as soon as this show is over, I'm going to put 10 racks on Illinois. And I'm going to do it for him. But we hear a lot about, with Arizona and Michigan, the top gear of Michigan being better. But when you're in a game like this, how often are you going to be hitting that top gear? And if we're taking off the top gear, who's going to be more stable? Whose level is a little more stable between Michigan and Arizona?
I think they get to their top gear. The thing that these two teams have in common is they're two of the best second half teams in the sport. So you look at whether it's Arizona, whether it's Michigan, both of them have like a 12% gap in their half-court field goal percentage offensively and their half-court field goal percentage defensively they give up in the second half. And it's because of shot quality. Like they're so good on both ends that as that game goes on across 40 minutes, they're going to get the higher quality of shots. And so that's how they break away from teams. And they obviously have great pace about what they do. So I think there's still an avenue where I know, and I've said it, like I know this spread is close, but both of these teams are capable where if Michigan starts turning the ball over or if Arizona gets way behind in three-point variance, like I think there's either of these teams, I don't want to say blow this game open, but make it like a 7, 8, 9 point win. I could absolutely see that.
I think that the key to both these teams is that they can play at different speeds.
Yeah.
They can play a half-court game. They can play a full-court game. They can get out and transition. I think they're so well coached that if one team is kind of struggling, they may say, hey, we're going to slow it down. We're going to get inside. We're going to make sure we get good shots. They're very, very balanced teams. What could separate the teams could be Trey McKinney. Does he come off the bench again? Del Orso. Does somebody out of nowhere come out and play really, really well for them and maybe give that team an edge?
Yeah. Obviously, the other side of this is Arizona. And just, again, I think we talk about that water finding its level. If Arizona wins this game, Jarrell, what happened?
They probably got Michigan in foul trouble. Got at least 1 or 2 of the bigs in foul trouble. And they went to the free throw line over 20 times.
Okay. All right. That's pretty specific. Rob, if Arizona wins, is that what it's going to look like?
I think if Arizona wins, they're going to win the battle of the paint, and they're going to shoot like 65% from 2. Because Michigan is so good at defending in and around the lane. And what Arizona wants to do is get those paint touches and score at the rim and to score in transition. So if Michigan's able to eliminate that, then Michigan will win. But if Arizona can be effective, if they can get those little, they love getting Koa Pete to his right hand, those little 8-foot jumpers in the paint. If they can make that happen, then Arizona's going to win. Okay.
All right. We have a lot more to come, including who he coached for. It's the game that's swept the nation. And, this is a college basketball media network. Norm,
T.O. and I reigning champions.
You're the big favorite, Norm. If you don't win this, I'm going to be disappointed. We'll have to talk about it after.
I'm sorry I'm going to disappoint you.
Don't say that, man.
T.O. and I reigning champions from last year.
All right, we're gonna do this when we get back. Stick around, Field of 68.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
People. They're good. Good for laughs, for snorts, for cries, and goodbyes. People are good for doing nothing. Or getting up to something. People are good for squad goals. And squad. People are good for these kinds of cheers. And these kinds of cheers. People are good. For you. Jim Beam. Best enjoyed together.
Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than taking care of your physical health. If you pull a muscle, you go see a doctor. But when it comes to finding the right therapist, suddenly it's frustrating. You've got long wait lists or you're staring down huge out-of-pocket costs. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance providers, and the average session copay is just $15. And with Rula, you're not matched and left to figure it out. They check in and they make sure that you're actually making progress. Every therapist on the platform is licensed, vetted, and picked for their expertise. So you know you're talking to someone legit, not whoever happens to be available. You answer a couple questions and Rula connects you with an in-network provider who actually fits your needs. You can be talking to a therapist as soon as the next day. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to Rula.com/F68 and get started today. That's RULA.com/F68. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. It's 2026. Everything in our world has leveled up. Our phones are supercomputers, your car parks itself, but your razor is still flimsy and overpriced. That's where Harry's Plus comes in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face. It has refined blade tech for a close and smoother shave and has a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Most importantly for me, Harry's Plus has German-engineered blades that are honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly and without razor burn. I may have a beard, but I still need to shave my neck to make sure I don't look like Paul Gasol. And with Harry's, I have never dealt with razor burn, painful bumps, or the kind of nicks and cuts that you get with drugstore blades. If you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right, no questions asked. There's zero downside to giving it a shot. For a limited time, our listeners get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/F68. This set includes all new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foamy shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/F68 and tell them we sent you. This week, grab March by the claw at your favorite bar. White Claw, the official seltzer of the Field of 68 After Dark, is opening a $1 million bar tab for bracket season. Rally your crew, call for a couple of claws, and go to whiteclaw.com/couple of claws to score rebates or a chance at a gift card depending on your state. You must be 21. Rules and restrictions apply. Ends April 6, 2026. Drink responsibly. whiteclaw.com/couple of claws. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode of the Field of 68 is brought to you by Mando. Some men mask their BO with scent. Mando men get the job done right. Mando whole body deodorant was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You want a solid deodorant stick? Mando's got one formulated and powered by a mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. You like spray bottles? Mando's is aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All Mando products are baking soda and paragon free, and it's safe for anywhere on your body. Pits, balls, thighs, folds, feet, even the grundle. It's perfect for me this time of year. I'm spending 15 hours a day in an arena that hasn't had the AC turned on yet. If I didn't have Mando products, I might smell like the guy sitting next to me on press row, because Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than Old Spice. Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find it in Walmart and Target and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use code F F68 for 20% off at checkout. March Madness is here, and you know what that means. It's a time of excitement and a time when legends are forged. In other words, it's a time to wear chubby. Skies out, thighs out, baby. It's getting warmer. The clock's moved up an hour, and it's time for Chubbies. Chubbies was founded in 2011 by a group of friends with a simple mission: rid closets of uncomfortable clothes and put the fun back in functional fits. They set out to create shorts, trunks, and polos that put personality back into your wardrobe with fits that look good and feel even better. Chubby shorts aren't just insanely comfortable. They're built with premium fabrics that are quick drying, wrinkle resistant, and antimicrobial. Chubbies keeps you comfy, casual, and dangerously confident. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners a 20% off discount with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68. Give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
Back to Tom's Watch Bar. Field of 68 will be here all week for the Final Four, and it's now time for the annual humiliation ritual that Connor and Dagan put upon us that we call Who He Coached For. That's it right there. And the gist of the game is you guys are going to flash a coach. And we found Ron Slade. Yeah. Shout out to Ron Slade, man. Tennessee's in the building for sure. This is the Tennessee team. Yeah, give it up. Give it up.
This ball going to show up.
Yeah. So they're going to flash a coach, and we're going to guess who he coaches for. All right, so without further ado, Dagan, please.
Let's do it, fellas. All right, first coach. Here we go. Did you just say, is that Randy Bennett? That is not Randy Bennett. That is not Randy Bennett. John asked if that was
John,
Randy
you
Bennett.
asked if that was Randy Bennett?
It's not Randy Bennett. All right, we all good? We got answers in? Here we go. We're going to start over here with you, John and Ron. Sanford. Okay. Jarrell?
Vermont.
All right. Latula?
We're just going ballerina.
All right. And you guys on the end?
So,
That is, none of those were correct. This is the head coach of Army, Kevin Kewick. Army.
The proud, the brave.
All right, hold on. I'm a little behind here. Let me pull up another one.
I really felt good about Sanford.
Hey, when you guess it, say what it is. Say what it is.
Yeah, say it out loud. That's a good point. Yeah, you can't really,
You have a microphone for a reason, John Martin.
That's true. All right, next one. Here we go. All right, fellas. Here we go. Next one.
Slay, you didn't cheat very well, man. They're right next to you.
He was a Ram, baby. Maryland Eastern Shore.
Hey, my guy Ron Slade's on the SEC network.
Slay's got cheat.
I got stigmatism in my right eye. I couldn't see that far.
All right, fellas. Next one. Go ahead, John.
Morehead State.
Incorrect.
New Mexico State.
All right.
Middle Tennessee, Nick
Okay.
McDevitt. Tennessee Travelers, stand up.
Middle
baby.
Tennessee State. I was
Middle
kind of hoping the
Ten-
Tennessee guys
MTSU.
were going to get that
Come on,
one
Ron
correct,
Slay.
but
Come
apparently
on,
not.
Ron Slay.
Should have gotten that one.
Middle Tennessee State.
Slay, you got to get that one, man.
All right, fellas. Up next. Up next. John.
UT Arlington.
Tennessee Tech.
Nothing?
No. Texas Arlington.
All right, we got
Dang.
John and
KT Turner. Let's
UT
go.
Arlington. UT Arlington.
Everybody's got one. What's the score? Everyone's got one?
Right now, the scores are everybody's
got one?
Yeah, everybody's got one. Everybody's got one.
Everyone's got one.
It was. It was.
Come on, Mike.
All right, fellas. Here we go. Next up. Next up. Here we go. Give it both. We'll give it. We'll give it both. We'll give it to these two here. It's technically Louisville. That was a trick question.
Who's he coaching? It's not who did he used to coach for.
So I should have said should have been Winston-Salem State.
No. So anytime.
No. It's who he currently coaches
for
for.
being thorough.
No, you're right.
Okay,
I'm
thank
giving
you.
it to you both.
Thank you. Next question.
I'm giving it to both.
Next question.
It's technically Louisville. It's just
extra credit.
It's okay.
That's extra
All right,
credit.
All right. Don't stop it.
Unbelievable.
Stop it. All right, on to next. On to the next one. On to the next one.
Now it's at Utah State, Northern Iowa.
Let's go.
Okay.
Grand Canyon.
Okay. Nothing. Oh. All right. Well, nobody got it correct. Cal Baptist was the closest. UC Riverside. UC Riverside. Gus Arginal.
What is it?
Gus Arginal. All right. Next one, fellas. Next one. You run a network.
Like from Syracuse.
All right, here we go. Next one. Also, the best picture we found so far.
Yeah, it was me.
All right, next up.
Confirmed, which made me feel more confident then.
Well, I got to throw one in there that everybody can get.
The one coach in college basketball.
All right, here we go. We got score update. John and Ron got 1 point. We have Jarrell and RC with 2.
Okay, we're in the last.
We wiped it off the board. It was a wash. We have too much confusion.
Very controversial.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, you can get it back.
Very controversial.
We got a little while left yet. We got 15 minutes left of this if we want. We got Tio and Latulip at 4 and Robert Norman 4. So we got a tie here in first place. as many. We got 15 minutes, so we
All
can
right,
go
sweet.
as many as I got.
Keep them coming.
You need to eat. I thought you were eating the whole time.
Was, and then Rob told me over here.
All right, here we go.
Well, you can go get your food and you can eat with if you want on the show.
We got any other coaches?
Oh, we got plenty.
You don't remember a guy you interviewed 4 months ago? Unbelievable.
Crazy. All
Reports on this game.
right.
RC, you got to know this one. Jarrell, if you don't know this,
No, no, it's the only one I know.
yeah.
His mom gives him scouting reports for games.
Say that into the mic.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We ready? We ready? We good over there, John? All right, I'm gonna start on this end. Rob, go first. Rob, go first.
We'll go first.
Rob and Norm, go first.
We'll go first. Albany.
Okay.
Albany. It's Albany.
Boy, DK.
You all wrote
My
Albany.
man DK, mom gives him great
Correct.
scouting
Albany.
reports for the
Albany.
game.
Correct. You Albany.
Everybody knows the Albany coach.
All right. Next
Never
up.
interviewed him.
Slay, you got stuck with
Next
the
up,
worst.
next
You got
up.
stuck with the worst partner.
This is a wild game right here, man. Give us a point, Connor.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Like what? Like, how is this fair?
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Stop cheat. T.O., stop cheating, man. Stop cheating. That's how you got the last two
These coaches play their games on Tubi. Come on, bro.
You lost your marker here. I'm not gonna throw this. Hold
John, you interviewed him too.
I've never.
Last year in the NCAA tournament, you interviewed him in the
I'll
tournament.
get you another one, Connor. I'll get you
I've
another
never
one. I got
interviewed
you another
It's not Evansville.
It is Evansville.
It is not Evansville.
It is. He needs to be there. He needs to be at Evansville.
All right, we ready? We all good here?
I already went Evansville.
All right, Evansville.
We went Evansville.
Jarrell?
We went Evansville.
What do you got, Jarrell?
Yeah, you're a team, John.
RC's giving up.
Columbia.
All right, that's
Right
closer.
league, wrong team.
Cornell.
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 Oh my God.
Last
Cornell.
two. Cornell.
Go.
That's context.
All right, here we go. Next one.
I know that one. I know it.
Oh, John over there was confident. Do you know this one, John?
Yeah, he locked in. He locked in. He locked
John knows
in.
that one.
Hold on.
Yeah, I know this guy. He's a beast. He's a beast. They had a great year this year. They had a fantastic year this year. Rob, you interviewed him.
Yeah, come on.
You remember you interviewed him.
Gotta be. Hey, it's got to be.
Rob and them don't get this. Him and Norm don't get this. We still at 2 points.
Hey, Rob, you interviewed him 4 months ago. You don't remember?
Here we go. All
Gotta be
right, you got to give an
John
answer.
Martin knows it. It's got to be someone from Tennessee.
You got to give an
I know
answer
it's
over
not
here.
Tennessee.
Got to give an answer over here. So you too, Jarrell.
Good.
Write something down. You good? All
I
right.
don't know this one.
It ain't right, but I'm good.
No.
Start down now. Start down now.
Oh, they're writing something down. They're writing something down.
Time, Mike. Come on, tell me.
I don't know.
Yes. Coach, you wrote a lot.
I don't know about that. I think Rob saw that. Yeah, Rob saw that one. No, you shouldn't have flipped it around. To be fair.
I knew.
All right, flip them.
Hey,
Western Illinois.
It's not Western Illinois.
Leathernecks. The Leathernecks.
I knew Rob would
North
cheat.
Alabama.
I knew Rob would cheat. I had higher expectations. We got that hope. I had higher expectations for Norm. Hey, what was the answer?
North Alabama.
By any
You got it
means,
correct.
huh? By any means.
Hey, strike that one from us.
I can't remember his
We
name.
didn't even
They
put
had
it
a great
down.
year.
We didn't even write it down.
Yeah.
All right, next.
I cheated. Hey, T.O.
Next one.
We're taking a point off the board. I cheated, T.O.
Any bald white coach, I'm done. Lex Luthor. Really?
Coach, I think he was playing. I just put I don't
What are you doing? Oh, but I don't know if we got one of them over here today.
It's really mine.
I don't know if it's not very.
Is that T.O.?
All right. Just making sure. All right.
Kind of looks like your brother, though.
We good around here? We all good?
I mean, I guess. Again, it's all relative.
You all have nothing?
It's not correct.
I don't got nothing.
Well, just write something. Everybody write something. It's not fun if you don't write something.
Blank board. University.
All right. That's incorrect.
Eastern Kentucky.
No. On the end here? Idaho. And then let's see here. I know. I'm waiting.
Where was RC?
He was over here plugging his phone in.
That likely story.
It's all right.
St. Bonaventure.
St. Bonaventure.
That is not St. Bonaventure. That is not St. Bonaventure.
No, you say your phone.
Who's next?
That is Southeast Louisiana.
What's the count?
I got the count here. All right, here we go. Count. Here we go. Jarrell RC got 3.
Nice.
Nobody got it right. Don't worry. Jarrell RC 3 points. Tulip T.O. on 7 points. Rob and Norm on 6 points, and then Ron and John on 2. No, we're not done. Absolutely not.
Give me keep going.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we got more like 3.
Here we go. Next one.
Oh.
I know that.
You know what? Tell me, I ain't taking no cheat.
Hey, he done had a makeover, huh? Like a lifeline or something?
Sure. I don't really know what kind of clue to give here.
I like the phone. Yeah, I like a friend.
Phone a friend. You can phone a friend if you want. Sure. I'll give you. I heard that. That is not. He does not coach in that area. that ain't it.
Let's go.
No, not that. Not that either. Not that either.
I'm saying, you know, so I gotta try to figure out who he is.
Kind of does.
I'm holding back here.
All right, that's fine.
His speed was Amish.
You're taking this very seriously, Theo.
Yeah,
It's getting heated over here on this side.
getting very chippy to my
on
left.
this side of the table. Yeah. Are we good here? We good? Everybody got an answer? You guys good? All right, Rob, you go first.
We've been purist
All right,
over here. Cleveland
Here.
State.
I said High Point. Ain't that dude?
That ain't dude.
That ain't that ain't. Don't that look like
Cleveland State.
like a ball hill?
I mean, that's correct.
That's
Cleveland State.
That's correct.
Cleveland State.
Cleveland State is correct.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I'm not sure how you got that. That's correct.
Keep
All
going.
right,
Keep going.
In here. All right, you got it. All right.
Hey, you ain't hear me say you had a makeup?
Yeah.
Like, damn, you got hair.
Yeah, that's not Flynn. Where'd RC go?
Hey, I'm a Horizon guy.
RC left.
Horizon guy.
Yeah, that's. All right, here we go.
Hey, another one.
I know. I gotta find the
go.
ones I didn't do yet. I gotta find the ones I didn't do yet.
RC was with me too. He was with me.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Double down on it.
Oh. That's
Bring it over, eat it over here.
Yeah, just eat it on the show.
Just eat it while you're
standing there.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Anything, RC?
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I'm going.
We may have to go next.
No, we're not done yet.
They get me working on these.
What'd you say, John? What do you got, John?
I got Sanford.
Just keep doing it. Recycle it.
Sam Houston.
All right, right here.
UMass Lowell.
And then we got. You guys got something? Nothing. It's Lindenwood. Lindenwood.
Wow.
All right, here we go. I got like 3 or 4 more.
Okay.
2 more.
There you go. 2 more. I got like 3 or 4.
Okay.
There's so many.
That's not purple. Whoever said that. That's not purple. I'll give. It's navy blue.
Give me 10. I'll give you 50. Okay. Lamb.
Nada.
Hey.
Hey, can you like say conference to us or something like that?
Yeah. Give us your Scott.
All right, conference. This is the Big Sky. I feel like that gives away too much.
Can you tell us who's in that conference?
I cannot.
Where's Sean Paul?
I cannot.
Yeah.
Paul be killing it.
We good here?
Weber State.
Just say it. Just say it. Just say your answer.
Weber State. That sounds good.
All right, sure. Weber State.
Austin P.
Austin P. Not in the Big Sky,
Montana
but I respect
State.
it. That is Northern Colorado.
Oh, okay.
He's
All right.
really on the snake.
All right,
Yep.
next one.
Come on, Slay.
Oh, I got to know this, man. Oh.
I feel like we should know this one.
I always get a little nervous that
Why is that?
there may not be at the school
I just think we should. I'm like,
He said it about every black guy that come up.
I said we. I said we.
I feel like he one of us.
I didn't say y'all. I feel like y'all should know this.
He one of us, John.
What do we got the scores here? We got all right. I got one more after this. This conference is the SWAC. SWAC.
All right, man. Hey, we got a 1 of 16 chance.
You straight off the cuff. What's going on over here?
All right, ready?
We good?
Go.
Grambling.
RC Jarrell, you can just say it. Just say it.
Prairie View.
Prairie View.
We already did Prairie View.
Tuskegee.
Okay. All right. You got something? You got nothing?
Clark.
No. Arkansas Pine Bluff.
What was that?
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oh.
All right, last one. I think it's over. I think
This one's worth 3 points.
Yeah, for the drama of the game.
All right.
We'll make it worth.
Sure.
Hold on. Let me get in here.
Triple.
We're gonna make it worth 5 points. 5 points.
Yeah, let us wait. Let us wait.
It's my game. 5 points.
We're going to get it.
5 points. Here we go.
Get it.
Anybody can win. It means everybody can win. Here we go.
Game.
Oh, yes, he knows.
Well, Latulip knows it, so.
No,
Latula. Say what's up with the
Well, it doesn't matter. They're in the lead, so if he knows it.
My dentist?
Like, Latula, we got to get you a hobby, bro. You watch too much damn college basketball.
This, I'll give you conference. It's the
Oh,
MAC.
he's in the building?
The MAC conference. Well, the MAC.
Is he Tom?
He's wearing the same thing.
Is he here? Go get him. If he's here, go get him. If he's here, go get him. That's hilarious, you know. If he's actually here, that's really funny. I mean, he can hear us. He should be able to hear us.
I ain't answering no.
Not if he's here. If he's here.
Oh, hell no. What?
Mike's going to get him.
Yeah. Call his name.
I think
I don't know.
He better not have a towel.
the drama.
Yeah,
I
this is
mean,
good
you
stuff.
really-
here. This is good TV here.
This is as good as it gets right
We're
here.
just going to sit here and
Will
wait.
Latulip
You
come
built the
back?
drama up.
Will he come back with the coach?
While we wait.
Yeah, flip him over.
Why? I'm waiting to see him. I hope he's got his gear on.
Western Michigan.
That is okay.
Damn it, damn it.
Give it an answer. Just give me an answer.
Come up there?
No.
Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. You're out because I have the correct answer flipped around. It's Central Michigan is the correct answer. Central Michigan. And he might be here. If you're here, Coach, come on over.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
Where did Latula go?
He went to go find Coach.
Wow. Go. Listen, this has been the Field of 68.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Wrap it
joining
up.
us. Tom's Watch Bar. We'll be live tomorrow, 2 until 5. Live Sunday, 4 until 7, right here.
Shout out to Slade.
Good. Rocky Top.
Can you zoom in on this? No.
Hey, we'll be back again tomorrow. 2 o'clock to 5 here at Tom's Watch Bar. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Field of 68. We'll see you tomorrow.